Hello, just starting my live. Anyone who's just popping on. Hi. Okay, just starting my live. My daughter is actually going to join me in a little bit because I don't know if anybody who's on, if you were here last time, but my daughter, my 15-year-old daughter, was on here too. And now everybody's saying they want my daughter here. Her name's Cherish. So, hi. Hi, Witty Unicorn 86 and Chrissy. And I missed the last name. I know I can scroll though. You don't have a name. User 974 day. Hi, everyone. Welcome, YouTube. Welcome, TikTok. This is another live. I don't know if any of you were here for my live last week. We're going to talk all things past life regression and higher self hypnosis. So, I love your necklace. Thank you. Happy Monday. I got too much sun today. Like my face, I looked in the camera going, oh my gosh, it's like the last nice, warm, sunny day here in Virginia. And so I went out and got some sun today on my lunch break from a session. And yeah, it's definitely a little bit too much on my face. Okay, so I want to talk all things past life regression and higher self hypnosis. And then I see you said you're still watching while you're still at work. Before you go to chemo tomorrow, sending you lots of energy and love for the chemo. Yeah, I made it to a live. Hello in Connecticut. Here in Connecticut it was 74. Yeah, it was like 77 here in Virginia today. It was amazing. It was so gorgeous. So I had to go out on my lunch break since sunset is so early. By the time I finished my session, it was dark. Because my sessions are all day. My higher self hypnosis sessions take all day. And we started at 8:45 this morning. And it took all day. And hers actually ran really late because it was so interesting that I couldn't stop. It's like you're watching like a really, really good soap opera. And you guys, okay, so let me tell you a little bit about this session that I had today. What school would you recommend for hypnotherapy? Spicy said, do we plan the details of our death and our soul contract? Yes. Raining here in Washington. Okay. What school would you recommend? Why don't you email me at tracy@wokelightworker.com and I'll talk to you. Okay. Because that's a long answer. It really just depends on kind of what your goals are. And if you want to do this kind of hypnotherapy or if you want to do something totally different or like, I guess I'll call it regular hypnotherapy. Oh, there's a really good book. I wonder if I have it in here. This is my studio that I used to use for in-person sessions. So now it's like my meditation room. But I have this really good book. I'll try to remember the name of it, but email me. And then at tracy@wokelightworker.com if you want to find out more about doing this type of work. And I can give you guys anybody who's interested, but you have to feel like, and you have to know that it's your purpose. It's your passion, that you're just like sure beyond anything else that you know this is what you're here to do before you embark on something like this. Because the worst thing is doing something because you're thinking, oh, I'm going to make good money or whatever the reason, right? Like I did with real estate for years, being a realtor. Yeah, it helped me pay my bills, but it wasn't my passion. I used to cry and be like, I didn't come to this planet to sell houses. I know there's something different for me and I don't know what it is. And I was chasing my purpose for years. So you absolutely want to know that my sessions are virtual. They're all virtual. You're a therapist, but your soul desires more. I do a lot of sessions with therapists, you guys. Virtual sessions. My sessions are all virtual. You guys can go to my YouTube channel. I have 21 people joining me from YouTube. Hi, guys. Love you guys. Hello from San Diego, they said. Oh, thank you. Said, such a blessing to help people like you do. It is. It's amazing. But I mean, I don't take any of it. Here's my daughter. I don't take any of the credit for it because it really is. It's your higher self doing all the work in these sessions. It's not me. I'm a facilitator. And I mean, I want to be humble, and it's not me doing the healing. It's not me giving you the answers. I mean, I do give a lot of intuitive coaching in the intake session, which happens in the first part of the day. But it's just because I have hundreds of sessions to rely upon, and I know what people's higher selves are going to say in different situations. And so I share that information. Everyone, this is my daughter, Cherish. You can just call her Cherry, or I call her. You're not in the. She's not in. We got to get closer. Or you can call her Chair Bear. That's my nickname for her. I call her Chair Bear. That's my 15-year-old daughter. Yeah, maybe kind of more behind me. Sorry. The screen for TikTok is not very big, but the YouTube one is bigger. So yeah, if you're interested in doing this kind of hypnotherapy, it's I started out doing QHHT, Dolores Cannon's, but I took it in a more expanded direction, I guess I'll say. Not that there's anything wrong with QHHT at all. Like the shell of what I do is QHHT, or Dolores Cannon's method, quantum healing hypnosis technique. So anyway, I hope that was a long answer. She said, "Oh, I'm Share Bear." So this is Chair Bear, and that's Share Bear. That's funny. Your cat's joining too. Awesome, on YouTube. She said she loves that lip color. Okay. Self-hypnosis. I don't do anything with self-hypnosis. I'm going to start making like hypnosis and meditation recordings.
But you've hypnotized yourself.
But I did do this on myself. Okay. So some people say, well, how can you do this online? Because what if the connection gets disrupted? Oh, guys, I can tell you, like almost not every, but probably at least every other session, the internet is interrupted. So today I had a woman, and her session was interrupted because she was doing it from a hotel. And at the hotel, they make you like re-log into their Wi-Fi after, whatever, 45 minutes or a couple hours or something. And so her time limit was up and she had to log into the internet again. So it kicked her out when we were literally in the middle of her hypnosis session. And so I tell people, I prepare people for what's going to happen. You don't even worry about it. You're not going to get stuck in it, because this is more like a deep guided meditation than it is an actual hypnosis. So it's funny to think that you could actually get stuck in meditation, and you can't. And to prove it, I put myself under using the script that I use to get people under. And I was like, I don't know how I'm going to come out of this. I have no idea what's going to happen at the end of this. I'm just going to see what happens. And of course, I trust that I'm not going to be stuck in hypnosis for the next 30 years and die that way. So, and my team told me to do it, my spirit team. So I did. And when I got done, like I had all these questions in my mind before I started. And then when I got done, I heard the words come out of my mouth, and it was me, but it wasn't me. I heard the words going, disconnecting. And then I popped my eyes open and I was like, whoa, okay. Had no idea it was going to end that way, but that was cool. So it was like they plugged into me, said all these things and answered all these questions that I wanted to know answers to. And then they're like disconnecting, like they pulled the plug or something. It was pretty funny, actually. Let me see what the comments are. Did an introspective hypnosis and was interrupted, but you can go back into it like nothing. LOL. Yes. What crystal you got in your hands? Oh, she's got a smoky quartz, and I don't even know what this one is called because I accidentally threw away. Does anybody know what this one is called? This blue one, but is it blue agate or agate or whatever, however you pronounce it? I don't know. If anyone knows what this is, let me know. But I love this one. I found it at this really cool store in this little town in Virginia, and so I bought it, and I have it on my meditation table over here. But blue calcite, someone said. Okay. Yeah, another person said blue calcite. Is everyone can be hypnotized, or is there preparation before? Looking at YouTube now, Claudia did a hypnosis session and it didn't work. She did it twice. Language is not a barrier. As long as you can speak English, it's fine. I get people from all over the world and they can have thick accents and we do just fine. But the session happens in English.
You're training someone who knows how to do Spanish, aren't you?
Not yet. No, not yet.
There will be.
Maybe. Anyway, so what was the question? Oh, can everyone be hypnotized? Well, this is like I said, here, babe, you want to hold it?
Yeah, I'm setting the intentions.
To be ready for this session, I tell everyone you want to, I had a consultation call with a woman today because I talked to everyone for like 15 minutes before they have a session with me because I want to make sure that it's a good fit for both of us. And so I told her that you want to be meditating every single day between now and your session. So even if you've, rarely meditated before, but at this point in time, I only do sessions with people who say they can visualize and who can learn how to quiet their mind. And you learn how to quiet your mind and you learn how to visualize. Even if you say you can't visualize, higher self says you absolutely can. You put a block there, you got to figure out what it is, got to remove it. But you want to meditate every single day, at least 15 minutes a day. And once or twice a week, you want to do a longer meditation. So if you go to my website, wokelightworker.com, all one word, wokelightworker.com, I have a tab there called meditations. They're not mine. They're just ones I pulled off YouTube that I thought were really, really good to practice with. There's a couple on there about meeting your higher self. There's one on there, how to totally empty your mind is a really good one. And then there's one about overcoming fear. But you want to meditate because I don't want you to get to the higher self hypnosis session and you're like struggling to quiet your mind, because that's a waste of time. That's a waste of all of our time, because the time you could be spent, we could be talking to your higher self and asking questions. You're struggling just trying to let go of control and let go. And so meditation helps you. If you practice that on your own, then you should be able to get to the session and be totally fine. But that's how you practice for it. Once in a great while, I have people who can't quiet their mind enough to go under. I don't do refunds. I don't do do-overs, none of that stuff, because I want you to be sure and confident and have total faith in yourself that you can. And it happens so rarely that people can't quiet their mind enough and not have a session that, and that's why I screen everyone for 15 minutes prior. So that's another reason I do my consultation calls, just to make sure that I feel like it's a good fit. Because I don't want you guys to waste your money. I don't want to waste our time. I don't want anybody being disappointed, anything like that. Sure, I could take and do what's called an emotional alchemy session on you if you're not able to go under. And I have done that sometimes. It's just really draining on me energetically. But I can do that for like 30 minutes without having it be too draining on me energetically. And that's where we get a lot of healing done too in about 30 minutes. So if you can't go under, a lot of times I'll just do an emotional alchemy session to help you heal things and overcome fears and just different things like that. So I've been trained in like regular hypnosis and then this, like I call it higher self hypnosis. Linda, my friend, Linda Caravia. She's my friend. Oh my gosh, you guys, like she's amazing. No, you don't know her. So I do sessions with Linda. Probably like it averages probably like every month and a half. Oh my gosh. Whoa. Okay. So her sessions have not been published on any social media yet because they're pretty, let's just call them high level advanced sessions. As far as the stuff that's said in them would really literally blow so many people's minds that I got to figure out how and if and when or where we would ever publish those, because they're just so like cool. They're so cool. And now she's on here. I love Linda. She said, so smart. It's high integrity to find a good match and be honest if it's not. Yeah, I do want to be honest. I had a session with Tracy and it was amazing. Hi, Veronica. Yeah, that was a good one. Veronica and Linda, jealous. I would like one, but I got to figure out how to turn off my in-head radio. Okay, if you guys want practice on how to quiet the voice inside your head, oh, you got my journal. Oh, awesome. Yeah, guys. Okay, I'm going to tell you how to quiet the voice inside your head, but let me give my plug for my journal, The Conscious Creator's Daily Path. And if you guys took my Create a Life You Want to Live class and you bought my journal, The Conscious Creator's Daily Path, you need to reach out to me and give me proof that you bought the journal. Email me at tracy@wokelightworker.com. My assistant will add you to my super secret, we're calling it the super secret journal group. And the super secret journal group, because you had to watch the 2-hour class that I have called Create a Life You Want to Live and then buy the journal, because the class was free. So the journal is your only investment. But for 6 months, we're going to be meeting the third Thursday of every month. And thank you. She gave me this to fidget with. We're going to be meeting the third Thursday of every month at 8:30 Eastern time, 5:30 Pacific time, to help each other, motivate each other, share ideas, celebrate wins on creating a new life, a life you want to live, instead of just letting life happen. So we're having a super secret journal group that's going to do that. And it's free. So if you guys, I have to figure out a way, if you were not able to take my class, create a life you want to live. I'm going to figure out a way to try to get access to everybody to the recording, but I haven't figured it out yet. So if you're interested in seeing that class, email me at tracy@wokelightworker.com. And then, like I said, you got to buy the journal. So this journal actually is every single day. It should take you about 6 months to get through it. And it's a whole thing that will take you 15 minutes a day to totally recreate a life you want to live. And it has 33 pages of affirmations in the back, which were all my affirmations. So, okay, so let me see. How do you quiet your mind? I had a session with Tracy and I struggled, but I was able to see one past life. She's amazing. Oh yeah, that was Megan. Hey, Megan. I'm really wondering how I can see what I was in a past life and what is the difference between Akashic Records reading and a higher self hypnosis. So Akashic Records, you just go into the past, you go into the library of the Akashic library and you can look at different past lives. But I always ask in my sessions for my clients to be shown a life, a past life that is relevant in some way to the life that they're currently living. Okay. Remind me to tell you my story in just a minute about a session I had today. Is the coolest past life story. Well, cool and kind of scary, but I'll tell you what I mean in just a minute. So hold on. But somebody asked me a question like, how can you learn to quiet your mind? So to quiet your mind, a page. Yeah, I'll show a page of what the inside of the journal looks like. Remind me. So to quiet your mind,
We already did.
no, not the inside. Hold on.
We did.
So to quiet your mind, I'll show a close up. It's okay. So to quiet your mind, it's really just sitting in silence. I mean, you can do things like you can stare at a candle. You can just go outside, and sometimes like I'll be sitting there and I'll ask my spirit team, I'm like, what do you want me to meditate on right now? And they're like, just close your eyes and just listen. So like tonight I was walking my dog and my spirit team told me, just close your eyes and listen. And so I was just listening to all the noise around me and all the crickets chirping and all the different sounds around me. So it's what meditation really is, guys, is it's stopping your mind so that you're not thinking about the past and regurgitating the past, and stopping your mind so it's not thinking about the future or worrying about the future or being in fear about the future. So it's really, yes, it's just bringing you to the now. So whatever that looks like for you. So it can be, a lot of people will just focus on their breathing, right? Just focus on their breathing.
And it's really good to do outside too, because then you focus on the life around you that you literally just take for granted and just look right past. You don't even pay attention to or acknowledge.
Yeah. So like, I don't know if you guys heard the last live. I love trees. She's like crazy in love with trees, talking to the trees all the time. So that's like a form of meditation too, or stopping and just actually literally noticing flowers. I mean, that's a form of meditation. Yeah, right. Snuggling your pet. Yeah. Snuggling your pet, petting your pet, as long as you're not letting your mind like think about the past, just really focusing on the love and the connection with your pet. And just feeling that connection. I mean, that lifts both of you.
Everything. It's just like all of the life around you, that you focus on yourself so much and not everything else. Yes, I am her daughter.
Yes, this is my daughter, Cherry Bear. Okay, so the inside of the journal. So this is what a page in the journal looks like. I'm going to show YouTube first. So at the top it says, but first me. And then there's like a place to write your daily affirmation. And then naming what you're going to do to show yourself love today, choosing a body part. And then there's like a checklist of the things you want to do. And then some other things. So that's what one page looks like. And that's the same page every day. And then on the back, it's a notes page. So for TikTok, I'm going to show you like, this is what a page in the journal looks like. And then in the back, like I said, I have 33 pages of affirmations in different categories. So there's peace, there's goals, gratitude, abundance, business, being a conscious creator, all of that. So again, if you want to be part of my super secret journal group that meets the third Thursday of every month starting in December, we're not starting in November because we got Thanksgiving here in the US, but we're starting in December. And that's going to be the third Thursday for like 45 minutes a month. And we're just encouraging each other and helping us take that 15 minutes every single day to create a life we actually want to live. So, and what, oh, I told you guys I was going to share you. Oh, Linda, thank you. She said, that's amazing. So, and you can buy my journal on Amazon. Forgot to tell you guys. So this is for sale on Amazon. So to be part of the super secret journal group, you just have to buy the journal on Amazon and watch my 2-hour class that I just taught twice now, Create a Life You Want to Live. If you missed that and you want to see the recording, email me at tracy@wokelightworker.com. I think my operations manager, is offering that as like a course to get you going on some other ones. I don't think there's a cost, but I don't run that side of the business, guys. That's my operations manager, Chris, and he's amazing. So I leave that stuff up to him. So session I had today. What?
I work at a nonprofit that plants trees. So can I start volunteering? Because I want to volunteer.
She wants to work at a nonprofit that plants trees, just like you said. You can find it on Amazon. It's called The Conscious Creators Daily Journal. The Conscious Creators Daily Journal.
Do you have another copy here?
I do have another copy, but it's
because I want to start using it.
Oh yeah, I'll give my own daughter one. Absolutely. Sure thing. Oh, guys, really quickly, let me tell you too about a class I have starting tomorrow night, Tuesday night, November 8th. It's 4 weeks long. I spent about 6.5 hours writing week 1, the course of it. Because I mean, you think about it, it's like, oh, it's an hour and a half course. You're teaching for like an hour and then there's a half an hour of Q&A. But the thing that people don't think of that I never thought of too when people would put on courses is all the work and the money and the time and the effort and the manpower that goes into putting on a 1.5 hour course. Like I had no idea until I sat in this chair and became a business owner. And it's like, oh my gosh, it took me 6.5 hours to write the class and make the PowerPoint presentation for it. And it was just like, oh my gosh. And then to teach about an hour. And anyway, so I wrote week 1 and I have week 2, 3, and 4 outlined. It's called 4 Week Spiritual Awakening Bootcamp. Guys, I'm telling you, like I have so many amazing things in there that I've learned from Higher Self Hypnosis and all of just the different training and reading and just like courses and everything that I've had over the years. And I'm telling you, like if I had this knowledge about spiritual awakening when I first woke up, like, oh my gosh, that would have saved me or put me like steps ahead in my spiritual journey, like as far as understanding things. I'm so excited with everything I'm going to be bringing in this class. So if you guys want to register for that class, you can still get, we never took away the early bird pricing. So just go get the early bird pricing and it's at you can either click the, my bio, my photo and go to my bio and register there, or you can go to The Conscious, I'm going to type it, see if I can type it. Can I type it in here? I'm going to type it in YouTube. It's called, oh, wow. What did I do? It's called The Conscious Creators Path.com. That's the name of it. Can I type it in here? I don't know if I can type it on TikTok, but it's called The Conscious Creators, plural, path.com. Or if you guys just forget and you can't write it down or you're driving or whatever, just email me, tracy@wokelightworker.com, or just go to wokelightworker.com and send me an email through there. But it's 8 weeks and we're going to do Q&A at the end. I'm going to teach you guys meditation. And if you can't meditate, you've never meditated, you don't really like meditation, you think it's too difficult, it seems overwhelming, I'm going to get you guys to fall in love with meditation because I'm going to make it so simple. At the end, we're going to do like a 10-minute meditation. I'm going to make it so simple and it's going to feel so peaceful and so amazing that when you're done, you're going to love it. You're going to love it. We're going to talk about spirit guides and all the other help we have on the other side of the veil that's there to help you. And I meet more and more every day. I had a session today and this woman is meant to be literally like the next J.K. Rowling's. So that's what her spirit team told her, that she's literally like that level of an author. And she has a spirit guide who is a writer spirit guide named Elizabeth. She's supposed to call her Elizabeth. And Elizabeth is the one that's given her this entire series in her mind. And the book is based on some other life that she's lived in another planet, but she can't remember it. So her spirit guide, Elizabeth, is helping her to remember all the details of this other life that she's experienced on another planet. And it's going to be like this whole series. And so under Higher Self Hypnosis today, her spirit team told her this. And it was just like totally information she did not know and probably wouldn't have known if she wouldn't have done this Higher Self Hypnosis session. It was super cool for her to find this out. Angie says, I will be joining. Yes. So theconsciouscreatorspath.com and join for that class. It starts. If you guys miss some or can't be there live, it's going to be recorded. So just don't even worry. You'll get the replay. So don't even worry about it. But you're definitely going to want it because I have even more amazing classes coming up, like in January, how to be and live as and connect with your higher self. That one's going to be amazing. But literally, you really want to have the spiritual awakening boot camp as like your like ground level, because we're going to touch on higher self. Also, we're going to touch on what is the ego? What is the purpose of the ego? Why do you have an ego? How can you live from your higher self if you don't want to live from your ego and have more peace and just kind of like a smoother ride overall on planet Earth? And just, we're going to talk about so many things like that. So
someone said they can't find your book on
can't find it on Amazon. It's The Conscious Creators Daily Journal. Look again, guys. It should be there. I don't know. I don't have another way to look anything up right now, but
you can still be on the live and just go.
I can. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell us the past life that was so interesting. Oh, okay.
And yes, we are mom and daughter.
Yes, this is my daughter, Cherish. She's 15. She's my daughter.
It's not a wonder why she was told the name me Cherish. It literally means to love. I was brought down here to teach love. I get it now.
So on YouTube, someone mentioned you can type in Tracy Ventura and you can find my book that way too on Amazon. So you can type in Tracy Ventura or The Conscious Creators Daily Journal. And that class that I taught, Create a Life You Want to Live, the free class that I taught the last 2 times in the last 2 weeks, it's literally, I laid out a plan for you guys to create in 15 minutes a day, the life you want to live. And that's the subtitle, Create the Life You Want in just 15 minutes a day. Literally will take you just about 15 minutes a day. Alice bought hers on Amazon. Okay, I'm going to tell you guys about the cool past life that I had today. And it's hard for me to remember a lot of past lives because then I do another session the next day. And it's like, I forget like all the other ones I had, even like 2 days before. I will like forget most of their session because then I get so wrapped up in the new session that I'm doing. So the first half of the day, we do an intake, which takes like 2.5, 3 hours. That's where I get to learn all about the person. And then we come up with a list of questions to ask their higher self once they're under. Then we take a lunch break. I give them a little bit of homework, like a meditation and a coaching video to watch on what to expect in part 2. Then we come back in the afternoon, and that's when I put them under hypnosis or in a really nice guided meditative state. And we look at a past life. Then we look at what they do in between lives. So I'm going to tell you guys what happened in my session today about her life in between lives, which was really cool. And then I call forth the higher self and ask the questions that we came up with in our list about higher self, about their life and traumas and whatever else they wanted. Okay, so the story today, guys, is she is married to a narcissist, and we all probably have a lot of experience. We've come across narcissists. She's married to a narcissist. She's filed for divorce. The marriage is coming to an end. He won't leave the house. He is, sucking her dry financially, sucking all her energy out of her. I mean, they're just complete energy vampires, right? They're manipulators, they're gaslighters, and it's never their fault. Nothing is ever them. It's always you, which reminds me, December 6th, guys, mark your calendar. Registration's open in a couple weeks for my gaslighting, manipulation, and narcissist mini course for 2 hours, December 6th. So, you definitely want to make sure you're on my email list to be notified of these, or find me on Instagram. I make all my announcements on Instagram under Woke Lightworker, or find me on Facebook under Woke Lightworker, because I make all my class announcements out there too. So, or make sure you're on my email
What was
list.
the past life?
Okay, so the past life was, she was a he. So my client is a female in this life. She was a male in the last life, and he like lived in Scotland in the 1700s, and he was like, he worked out of his house, but it was like a house slash shop, and like making shoes or something like that. And he lived a really, really simple life, like barely making it financially, like just barely scraping along, but he was fine. But his life was really boring. Like nothing exciting ever happened. Like one of the most exciting things that ever happened to my client when she was a he in a past life was he remembers going to the town, and the king was making an appearance in the town. And so he was there, and everyone was like so happy and excited. And apparently it was a good king, or they thought it was a good king. And he just thought it was really cool to be around like all the festivity and everything like that around the king. And then another thing he remembered, because I bring them back and I try to look at 3 things they can remember from that life that kind of stand out in their mind. And so another thing she could remember as a he, was sitting in a pub with a person that he had made friends with. And he really just didn't have any friends. And it took him a really long time to make a friend. So that was super special for him, that they were just laughing and having drinks in the pub and just having a good time. But the thing that was wrong or bad about this guy's life is somehow he made this other man really upset with him. And he said he doesn't even remember what it was. It was just something really insignificant and trivial. But this man got really upset about it and started stalking him, and literally stalked him for years, and would follow him. And he was constantly having to look over his shoulder, and this man would pop up and threaten to kill him and stuff like that. And so like this man like lived in terror, and he'd be sitting in his little like house workshop thing, working, like always looking over his shoulder. And she's laughing. She's laughing. This was detrimental. I mean, this was traumatic for this man, right?
It's all fake and planned. It's all a game. Who cares?
Right. Anyway. Okay. So let me see what other comment. Okay. So anyway, let me finish with this past life story. So he was working in his shop slash house one time, and this man, the stalker man, shows up at his house and starts threatening him. And so my client was like trying to talk him down, like, talk him down from the tree, like, hey, it's okay, dude, like, let's just calm down. And the guy wasn't having it. And he took him outside and stabbed him like multiple times, stabbed him outside of his own house, and left him lying on the ground. And before he died, he just remembered that it started raining on him. And so here he was laying on the ground, and the rain started, and he's just laying there with all these stab wounds, and he's dying. And so when I pulled her out of the past life, we went and looked at life in between lives, but I'll tell you about that because that was really awesome. But when I talked to her higher self later, the soul that was the guy who killed her in the past life, that stabbed her to death outside of, his house in a past life, is the same person who is her husband in this lifetime. It's the same person.
So why would he come back and be a narcissist to her if he already like stalked him and stabbed him?
So this is where the story gets interesting. Are you guys ready for the rest of it? This is where it gets good. Okay. So he already stalked her and killed her or him in that past lifetime. So now it's her husband in this lifetime, and he's a narcissist, like has completely beat her down. I mean, I loved her story, but you could tell she just really struggled with, especially with confidence, with self-confidence, with feelings of worth, with feeling like even loving herself. She's really connected intuitively, really connected to her spirit team, but she really, really struggles. And, like I said, her spirit team told her she's literally like the next J.K. Rowling's. Like if she gets her writing going and the book series that her spirit team has already laid out in her mind, she's literally like, actually her spirit team said even going to be bigger than J.K. Rowling's, which is crazy. And that I told her just to remember me when she gets her private jet and make sure she comes and gives me a ride. But and my daughter. Yeah. I said you gotta give me and my pets a ride in your private jet. But anyway, so okay. So why is he her husband in this lifetime? Okay, get this. What her higher self said. He has followed her around for, get this, 7 lifetimes. 7 lifetimes. This is the 7th lifetime that he has stalked her. So he's like stalking her from life to life. So he wasn't just a stalker in that lifetime. He's literally stalking her from life to life. It was crazy, right? So, what do people say?
Well, there's like,
Oh, heck no.
And then someone asked if you
Have
did on
you?
me.
Oh,
Yeah,
I've
been hypnotized several times, and I've seen several past lives from her and from other spiritual teachers.
Yeah.
And I when I was little, I was already remembering past lives and telling her about them, about lives with her where I was her mother
When she was 4.
Because that 7 lifetimes, like, that's been us. We've been looping around as mother and daughter back and forth for like several lifetimes.
Yeah. Okay, so let me tell you the rest of the story, guys. Okay, because it gets even better. Okay. So he has followed her 7 lifetimes. So this is like the ultimate stalker, right? And but I'm going to tell you guys, this is not the first time I've seen this. This is not the first time I have seen someone get stalked by someone else from life to life. Demons can stalk you from life to life and be attached to you. Dark entities can stalk you and be attached to you from life to life. I had a session, I think it was last week, where she was a little boy I think she was a little boy in a past life, and the little kid snuck out late at night one night. This is in a past life, snuck out late at night, and there was some kind of sacrificial ceremony, and the little kid snuck out to go watch it, knew it was going to be happening, and picked up a demon while that little kid was watching this ceremony, and it's followed her from life to life. And I asked, because I felt like intuitively I wanted to ask, like, does she have any waywords, demons, curses, hexes, spells, anything like that impacting her in her life now? And her higher self said yes. And I said, okay, which one? And then her higher self, took a minute to kind of scan her energy and said, oh, it's a demon. It's like, okay, how do we get rid of this one? Archangel Michael couldn't get rid of it. Other angels couldn't get rid of it. Her higher self couldn't get rid of it. We had to actually call in Creator to get rid of it. So Creator came and grabbed him, this demon. I'll call the demon a him. Grabbed this demon in Creator's hands, and the demon literally just fell into being a puddle of tears. It was like the wildest thing. This demon, she could see all this in her mind, going on in her mind. And the demon fell into being a puddle of tears just at the touch of love from Creator. Because Creator is love. I mean, God is love, right? And so this demon just literally melted into a puddle of tears and just remorse and like, oh, just the love just engulfed this demon. And the demon made a choice. I followed up after the demon was taken to Creator's light. I asked, so what did this demon do? Did this demon decide that it wanted to become a being of light, or does it want to stay dark? And the answer was, oh no, it chose light. And I said, so does that mean that demon will never be a demon again? It's actually like an angel of light. And the answer was yes, this demon definitely chose the light because it felt the touch of love from Creator and realized how far away it had gotten from Creator. And so I thought that was just like a beautiful, beautiful story. But she could see in her vision, like how the demon just like fell into being just this like puddle of tears as Creator's love touched it. Yeah, you're so welcome. I know, Linda, isn't that a beautiful story, right?
Go down on TikTok. There's more, but it like stopped there.
Oh, okay. Let me see. Wow, that's amazing. Okay. That is a story of hope. It absolutely is. So the more I that's one thing I love about doing this kind of work, because the more I'm not like out hunting for demons, like that's not what I look for. Okay. That's just not what I look for. But if it comes up in my session, it's totally fine. But the more demons we can send to the light, it either gets them away from, impacting other people. Even if they choose to stay darkness, they can't get away. Creator doesn't release them to go, okay, I could just go cause more havoc. But if they choose the light, that's another being for team light, right? I call it team light. Okay, so let me finish with this story about my client session today. So, okay, so this being, this dark being has stalked her for 7 lifetimes. So it killed her in the past life when she was a he living in Scotland in the 1700s. And then, when we asked the demon that this person had this same, I thought it was a soul. Let me tell you, let me get there. I thought it was a soul, had stalked her and followed her for 7 lives. So then I asked the question, does this person, this narcissist that she's married to, does he have a soul? And the higher self said, wow, let me ask my client's spiritual counsel to chime in here because I'm not really sure. Because we actually did this session not just with my client's higher self, we did it with my client's higher self and her spiritual counsel. So I've been doing that more and more in my higher self hypnosis sessions. I'll actually ask if we can have the presence of the person's spiritual counsel and their higher self so that we can have, I guess, I don't know, more resources, just kind of backing. And once in a while, the higher self will kind of turn around and look at the spiritual counsel and ask for backup or clarification or, yeah, that's above my pay grade type of thing. Let me ask the spiritual counsel. Okay, well, today, listen to this. There was something that was not able to be answered by my client's higher self or by my client's spiritual counsel. And I'll tell you what that question was. I asked if that person had a soul, and the answer was, I think I got to refer to the spiritual counsel because I'm not seeing one, but let me see. And the answer was no, that he was purely and is purely a dark energy that has been following her, not a dark entity, a dark energy that has been following her for 7 lifetimes. And then I said, okay, but how could he not have a soul? Like, how does he like keep going? And the higher self said, that's above my pay grade. Like, that's above my level of understanding. I don't know. And so I said, well, can you ask the spiritual counsel? And apparently the spiritual counsel did. Or I said, why is he like stalking her for 7 lifetimes, right? And how does he not have a soul? And the spiritual counsel said, you're going to have to go to Creator for that question. So I said, okay, can you go before Creator and ask Creator of all that is, God, the universe, source, what's the story on this? Like, how can someone not have a soul and then stalk her for 7 lifetimes and just kind of just be a multidimensional stalker, I guess? And Creator gave us I can't remember what the answer was. It was a really vague answer, but it didn't answer the question directly. It was something like he came to wreak havoc. I think that was what the answer was. He came to wreak havoc. And that was it. And I said, okay, I can see we're not going to get any further here. So maybe Linda is on this session. Maybe when I do a session with Linda Karavi is on YouTube. When I do a session with her, because her and I have a session this Sunday, I was thinking about bringing a little bit of that kind of thing up because I'm teaching a class on December 6th called Gaslighters, Manipulators, and Narcissists. And so I want to have all this from a spiritual perspective too, because we get the psychological explanation and everything on what narcissists are and gaslighters. But from a spiritual perspective, I want to bring it because I also have other stories. I'm not going to share them all here because I'm going to save them for my gaslighting and narcissist class on December 6th. So make sure you're on my email list, guys. So, or you are following me on Facebook on Woke Lightworker or Instagram. So you can get notified when registration's open for my gaslighting class. It's going to be 2 hours on December 6th. But I want to share some of the other stories there because not all of them are dark entities. Some of them are what you might even consider to be a little bit worse.
What's the difference between a dark energy and a dark entity?
A dark entity is like kind of like my understanding from doing these sessions is it's closer to being like a demon. But a dark energy, which is what her husband is, and I'm going to tell you another story about her husband. So give me 1 second. When I asked to have energetic cords cut with him, I'm going to tell you what happened with there because that's crazy. But a dark energy doesn't have a soul like we think of. That's what her higher self said. He does not have a soul like we think of. And they can't like ascend. They can't ascend. They can't be light. They suck light off other people because they need a light source, but they can't ever go to the light because they don't have a like a soul. They're like just something made up. So I want to talk to a higher self and find out, are these things made by like not necessarily in a lab, but maybe even a lab? And that's what one person's higher self said with one person's husband who was a narcissist, that their higher self was discerning that they think he might have actually been made in some sort of like underground lab and is soulless.
Shadow people.
Shadow people.
No.
Yeah. Who said shadow people?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Linda. Oh my gosh. We did cover that, right? Yes, in one of her sessions. That's right. See, Linda, I apologize because see, you can remember that because all my sessions, like there's so much information in this thing that I can't keep it all in here on what happens in all these sessions. That's why I need to like start writing books. But yeah, they're like shadow people that have been created. And this other client's higher self said he was like basically discerned that he was likely made in some sort of like underground lab or something, but he did not have a soul like we know of a soul.
My mind is
Yeah, all these things that are hidden from us, right, guys? Wow, that's crazy. Artificial soul. Yep. There is always a solution to get rid of the narcissist. You have to come to my narcissist class on December 6th to talk about that, because I'm going to actually tell you guys different things you can do and what people's higher selves tell them to do. But the short answer is there's not always something you can do. Literally, sometimes you literally just have to wait for them to die. Like, that's the short answer. But there are steps you can take in the meantime. Like one of my clients' higher self, her higher self told her that he was going to be dying very soon and told her what he was going to be dying of and things like that. And that, yeah. So not always is there something you can do. Wonder if it's the same as a negative soul in the Akashic records. I don't know. I've never asked about negative souls from the Akashic record. Was it an artificial soul? Yeah. You know what? I bet that's probably the best word for it is artificial soul.
Well, there's no souls in artificial soul.
Right. So it'd be a no soul as far as we understand soul. But that's why her higher self said it's not a soul like we know it, like we think of. So I don't know if it's like they try to make like a man-made soul in a lab or something. I don't know. So anyway, and yeah, so someone said I can't afford a class, but would love more content about this. So my class on December 6th is super cheap. Guys, it's going to be like, I don't even remember what my operations manager priced it at, like right around $20 or something like that. $18, $20, something like that. And the reason we have to charge for it, guys, is because I don't know if you guys were here when I was talking just a little bit ago about how incredibly time consuming, and actually I have to put in a bit of money when I do these classes, even if they're free, because I have to pay my web designer by the hour to make a landing page so people can register. I have to pay for my operations manager to manage this whole process and get it up and running. And then I have to pay for him to stay after, to be there for the whole class that I'm teaching, to run moderator. And then I have to pay for him to be there after the class for about 2 hours, answering people's emails and requests and all this kind of stuff, and just kind of winding down from the class. And then I have to pay for the WebEx software that I do my conferences on. Like there's a lot of expenses. Plus for each class that I do, it takes me a minimum of like 6 hours just to write the content. And I'm not getting paid for that. So the $20 doesn't pay me. Like I do my work for free, but I just need a little bit of money coming in to cover my other guys because they don't work for free. They don't work for free. My web developer does not work for free. My operations manager doesn't work for free. He's amazing, but he can't work for free. He's got a family to support. So that's why we have to do this. So I make a lot of my classes like that pretty inexpensive. And I think most of my classes are pretty inexpensive. Okay, so let me continue. Yeah, Linda, thank you. My time is valuable, right? So anyway, so let me tell you, Husky Kimberly Roses again. Does our higher selves show us things in our night dreams? Yeah, you can be shown all kinds of things in your dreams. There's a lot of things that you get in your dreams. But okay, I'm going to tell you guys.
You can ask before you go to sleep. Just ask Creator to send you like the most beneficial messages for you to hear in your sleep and help you remember it. And I did that last night, and I remembered, but now I forgot. But I did get messages.
Anyway, so okay. And then I think, oh, guys, I'm sorry. Let me go back to pricing really quick. I am talking with my operations manager right now. He has a plan for running a Black Friday special. I think it's going to include a discount on the gaslighting class. So I think the regular price is like $20 or $22, and it's going to be even cheaper than that for Black Friday. So if you're not on my email list, you're not going to learn about my Black Friday special. So click, go to wokelightworker.com and go to my website and just ask to be joined to my email list, or go to my bio on TikTok or Instagram, and you can add your name to my email list right there, my class list, because you're not going to be notified of my Black Friday special without it. So, and it is for the gaslighting class. I do remember him saying that's my Black Friday thing that we're going to be offering. So anyway, so you can get it even cheaper than whatever it's going to be. Like, it won't be like $20 or $22 or whatever. It's going to be even cheaper than that. Okay, so finishing up with my story, just this one story about her. Okay, so this guy has stalked her for 7 lifetimes. He's a narcissist, killed her in that first life. In case you're just joining, I'll catch you up. Killed her in this life in the 1700s in Scotland. And we find out that he does not have a soul, that he's a dark energy. So then I said, because she's divorcing him and he refuses to leave the house. And so he is living in the house with her, but he's down in the basement. She tries to have as little contact with him as she can. But so I said, are there any energetic cords that are connecting the two of them that you could cut? And remind me to tell you about the divorce, the marriage contract. I'll tell you about that too. That's an important thing her higher self said. But okay, so her higher self said, yes, there are energetic cords. And then her higher self scanned her and said, oh my gosh, there's 7 of them. And he has had these cords on her for all these lifetimes, for like 7 lifetimes. These energetic cords have been attached to her, and they were attached to her root chakra, which is your chakra of stability, right? It's your financial stability. It's your just feeling secure and stable in life. He had 7 energetic cords attached to her root chakra. So it was no wonder why she struggles so much financially. And every time she would work on building a business or work on some sort of job or have money coming in, she used to own a house at one point, ended up having to file bankruptcy on it because he took all her money, like cleaned out her bank account and took it to pay his back child support, and then left her with no money to pay the mortgage. So she had gotten all this money and had to and bought a house in her name before they got married. And he just ran it into the ground. Like she couldn't pay it. And she ended up having to file bankruptcy. He like ran their cars into the ground, wouldn't take care of them. And so now she doesn't have a car. It's like, he's just created a lot of mess. He ran his construction company into the ground. I mean, it's a mess. And she's like, 7 cords, 7 energetic cords. A cord for each lifetime. Oh my gosh, I didn't even think about that.
7 cords.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. She's a genius, right?
No wonder my root chakra.
And so these 7 cords are attached to her root chakra. And get this, her higher self said the ends, like the end of the cord connecting to her root chakra from him to her root chakra, are gold. And I was like, what is the significance of gold? And her higher self said that it had to do with finances and money, that he was literally trying to suck her dry financially and to take and steal all of her resources and use it for himself. So just like you'd imagine a leech, like you go in the muddy water and you have a leech just attached to you, it was like that. So her higher self it took a while. And I think her higher self, if I remember correctly, had to call in like some angels to help because they were like really attached to her, like really firmly attached to her root chakra, called in some angels to remove them. And when her higher self pulled one of them, said, "Oh, that one hurt. She felt that one." I was like, "Oh gosh." Right. And then, they put like some salve or some medicine on it to kind of heal the wounds where the cords were detached. And then I said, burn the ends of the cords so they can't ever be attached again and send them to Creator's light and just replace it with love and light. And so that's what her higher self did. But I thought that was really interesting. And then her higher self said she needs to spend a lot of time meditating and focusing on strengthening her root chakra because it just completely like just sucked so much out of her root chakra. So then later on, I asked if it would benefit her to have all of her chakras, including her root chakra, balanced and upgraded. And her higher self was like, "Oh yeah, let's do that. That's a good thing." So what are people saying? And then I'm going to tell you guys something that her higher self said about the marriage contract. So let me tell you about that in just a minute. But let's look at some
Have you ever heard
comments.
anything with sleep apnea, hearing it's trauma?
I don't know. I've never had anyone ask about sleep apnea. And then someone said, privileged Zillennial said, so can we just be dating dark energies? Thank you for the Rose Husky Kimberly again. Yeah. I mean, yeah, she dated this dark entity before she married. I mean, dark energy before she married him. Oh, okay. I'm going to tell you guys, this is what her higher self said. I said, what does she have to do to not let herself be in that situation again? Like being with a dark entity, dark energy, like a demon. I mean, I'm telling you guys, some of these narcissists end up being demons, actual demons, or kind of worse, if there's anything worse than a demon. I'm going to save that one for my narcissist and gaslighting class on December 6th. So you got to join me December 6th. So make sure you're on my email list. Go to wokelightworker.com and make sure you get on my email list. Winnie Yam said, sounds like my life. Oh no.
Yeah, someone else said that too. It sounds like you're telling my story.
Oh, wow. Wow. Okay. Well, here, move your arm for a second because I can't. What's another comment?
I meet people every night when I ask for plane.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
everyone does.
Sorry to interrupt, but the girl beside you is beautiful. This is my daughter, Chair Bear, Cherish, Cherry. She's 15.
You ever write books about this?
Yes.
No, but she will.
I will write books about it. I've literally just started putting a little bit of content together to cover different topics. So I'm going to take information from people's sessions. So like when I ask the question, the same question of many people's higher selves, I'm going to take all those answers and put them together in like one chapter. Like, let's say it's about self-love. What can she do to increase her self-love? Maybe that's a chapter. And then I'll put down all the answers different people's higher selves have given. So you can see different ways you can learn about self-love or something like that. Meditation techniques, guys, I'm going to cover that in my meditation class in April. So I'm sorry, that's in April, but I'm also covering some meditation stuff in my Spiritual Awakening boot camp that starts tomorrow night. So go to The Conscious Creator's Path or go to my bio, click my link to register for that class. The early bird pricing is still in effect, even though it is happening tomorrow night. It's 4 weeks. And we're going to be doing like a 10-minute meditation at the end of every class. And I'm telling you guys, you're going to love it. Like I wrote the entire verbiage for my first class for tomorrow night. And I love it. I'm super excited for what I'm going to share. Like, I wish that when I first woke up spiritually, I had all this information like squeezed together like this for me, because it would have just like set me like on a totally different path. I'm going to share so much information in this 4-week Spiritual Awakening Bootcamp. So make sure you go there to register. It's super low price, guys. But considering the time that goes into it, I mean, it literally takes me about 6.5 hours to write each week. So times 4 weeks, plus all the hours that my operation manager works and my webmaster works to get this thing going. It's like super cheap compared to what the time and effort and energy that we put into it. Husky Kimberly, more roses.
Those are higher self show us things in our night dreams.
Yeah, we already did that one.
Yeah, yes. But I don't know if they heard it or not.
Yeah.
Lipstick combo, NYX. Always NYX truffle.
What is your
NYX truffle lip liner and NYX lingerie lipstick, matte lipstick.
Talking fashion here. What is this, guys? Come on.
Well,
is it different if the twin flame is a dark empath? I don't even know how to answer that one because I've never asked a question like that. Honestly, I personally don't even like. I'm so over like I almost feel like I want to throw up in my mouth when I hear the word twin flame. Like
What?
literally, yeah, like literally,
Why?
because I'm so tired of hearing talk about twin flame. I literally, because
Why?
I just am. Because it's just no offense. If you guys are like all fascinated about twin flame and everything, I just think it's just like people focus on things that just take your brain power and your energy, that there's just
It
so
doesn't
many
have to.
there's just so many other things to focus on that will get you so much further in your spiritual journey than worrying if somebody is a twin flame or not. Everybody you have in your life, so no offense to anybody if you're like totally into the twin flame thing or whatever,
She's
I'm just
really
telling you how I
independent.
feel.
She's really independent. She's like big on work, and herself, and
Yeah.
more than anything.
Me
But
first.
well, yeah, always for
Self-love.
everyone. But yeah, you shouldn't have it be like, like a huge focus. But
Yeah,
it
there's
can
there's just so many
still-
other things, guys, because everybody in your life, whether they're a soulmate or a
Yeah.
twin flame or just somebody you come across who, like my client in that past life story I just told you, the dark entity or the dark energy, that she learned lessons. And I asked her higher self, like, what lessons did she learn? She learned a bunch of lessons. You always learn lessons from everybody you're with. It depends on where you're at. You're going to attract where you're at. I mean, if you're here energetically, you're going to attract other people. Dylan Kelly, thank you so much for the roses. Wow, thank you. That's awesome. Thank you. So sweet. If you're here energetically, you're going to attract other people because you attract where you're at. So you're going to attract other people who are of a like energy. So if you're focused, instead of focusing on like, oh, is this person my twin flame? And twin flame, right?
It's about love, though.
It's about love, right?
Love and intensity and passion.
Right. But listen to this. If you instead take that energy and focus and work on loving yourself instead of worrying about love from a twin flame, just focus on loving yourself, increasing your self-worth, growing yourself spiritually. What can I do to be more of my higher self, live in a higher frequency, exude love more to the world by and raise the vibration of the planet, not only of the planet, but yourself by focusing on loving yourself? You're going to take your energetic frequency and you're going to raise your energetic frequency up here. So the people down here that you used to be attracted to when you were here, they're not even on your radar anymore, because like they're like down here and your like frequency is up here now. So they're not even like in your purview. So you're not even attracting those people down here anymore that you once would attract, because that's where you were at also. So it's better, in my opinion, to work always on loving yourself and increasing your self-worth and working on your frequency so that you are up here at a higher frequency and attract, I guess you might call, like better quality as far as like mates, whether that be a twin flame or a soulmate or something like that. But you're just gonna attract where you're at. And if you're at a higher frequency, you're gonna attract other people who are at a higher frequency. And
Working on self-love and self-worth, it's not something that you just do and give up. It's something that you work on every single day. And soulmates are different than twin flames. Know the difference. And if you want, when asking about your soulmate, ask for your most creator's most divine, most compatible soulmate. That's what you always ask for, and you can even write about it. I learned that in a class that she paid for. Right, you can write what qualities you want and choose the higher energy qualities, the qualities that be specific, and then like design it how you want, how it feels right to you, and put your
my water jug,
most divine compatible soulmate from creator's perspective in it.
Yeah, it's just like if you go to a restaurant, you want to put in your order specifically, like, I want that dish, but I don't want any onions, but I want extra peanuts in it. And I don't want the dressing on it. I want it on the side. Like, be specific. If you're going to put your order into the universe, just be specific about what you want, but then you got to let it go. So it's like going to a restaurant. You don't sit there and give your order to the server and then follow the server to the kitchen and watch the cooks and make sure that they're cooking it correctly. Like, you don't do that. And you're like, oh, are you doing that? Are you putting the extra peanuts on? And did you make sure you didn't put the dressing on the side? And you're not like micromanaging and trying to control the cooks in the kitchen. So put your order into the universe and let it go, and then say this or something better, and just leave it at that. But just always be in faith and know that the universe is going to bring you exactly what you need for where you're at. So that's what I'm saying. Like if your energetic level is here, if thank you Husky Kimberly for another rose. If your energetic frequency is here and you're not liking what you're getting, work on loving yourself and increasing your frequency so that you can go higher, right?
Yeah, because you may not think that that's what you want, but it really is on some level because there's something that you're not healing inside of yourself.
Mm-hmm. You're going to attract the lessons that you need. You're going to attract the lessons you need to go to the next level.
But I feel like as healers, you like naturally gravitate sometimes towards lower energy because
you can.
Personally, that's how it is for me because I try to help and raise the vibration of the people around me.
Yeah, but that's when you have a savior complex. So
yeah,
we're going to outgrow that. Cher's just going to outgrow that.
But
having a savior complex.
No, I don't want to outgrow it. I just want to mold it better and learn more maturely from it. But I'm definitely not going to outgrow it because that's what I came here to do. So
okay. Okay, so
I want to save as many people as
possible. I know, isn't she cute?
As much as
She's cute, right? Doesn't she have a good heart? I think another way of saying it is to connect with the feeling and then let it go. Yes, that is right. I even started to try to connect and give a reason why it'll be beneficial, connect to the feeling and let it go. Because I did this, I managed to finally land a permanent position in my company. I've been a contractor for 3 years and I'm finally official. Yay. Congratulations.
You have to learn the feeling before any sort of work on it whatsoever, whether it's letting it go or embracing it or anything, or wanting to attract something. You have to, in your mind first, let yourself feel that feeling. Like in data healing, like you learn. Why am I blanking? I got focused on you learn. You speak to creator in your mind, and you ask, "May I be downloaded with the feeling of knowing how to do this, feel this, live in this." Because you have to know how to feel it before actually creating it in your reality.
Yeah.
And it all starts in your mind because that's where the actual reality is, because all of this is just creator's mind put into physical. So
yes, and I'm going to be talking about that, guys, tomorrow. Starting tomorrow, even if you can't be there, register for my Spiritual Awakening Bootcamp. It's 4 weeks because I'm going to be talking about physical reality the physical plane versus the spiritual plane, and what's the difference, and why do we come to incarnate on earth? What is the ego? Our spirit team, how do they help us? What is spirituality?
They're all on different planes.
Yeah.
And like the earth and our spirit guides and then different shamanic healers, creator, minerals, everything's on different.
Yeah. But I'm going to be covering all that, including getting you to fall in love with meditation. So go to theconsciouscreatorspath.com and register for my 4-week Spiritual Awakening Bootcamp. It starts tomorrow night. And again, if you can't be there in person or you miss a week or whatever, you'll get the replay, so you won't miss it. And then at the end, on week 4, I'm going to have a super special offer for everyone who registers for my class for my January Higher Self, How to Connect to Your Higher Self class. They're going to get a special discount for being in my Spiritual Awakening Bootcamp. Again, that's a 4-week class in January, How to Connect to Your Higher Self. It's actually how to connect to your higher self and how to live as your higher self, how to integrate with your higher self, if that's what you want for your life. So anyway, registration, theconsciouscreatorspath.com, or click on my bio and you can register in there. There's a link in there to register for my class starting tomorrow night. So it's Tuesday nights, 5:30 Pacific time, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time for 4 weeks. And then December 6th is my gaslighting, manipulation, and narcissist class. The registration's not open yet, so make sure you're on my email list so I can notify you when that registration is open. But okay, let me tell you so I was telling you about my client's past life story, about the the dark energy that stalked her for 7 lifetimes and then had 7 different energetic cords attached to her on her root chakra. So so she's got all this stuff going on. Like he's totally blown their finances up. He caused all kinds of financial havoc and craziness. So she ended up having to file bankruptcy on a house she bought in her name before she got married to him. Like he ran their cars into the ground, wouldn't take care of them. So we pulled, number one, we pulled victim mentality out of her because, like I said to her, just like I had a first husband who was a narcissist and I stayed with him, right? I stayed with him for a number of years and she stayed with hers for a number of years. And so neither one of our narcissistic husbands had a gun to our head the entire time telling us they were going to kill us that minute, every single minute that we were with them. We actually could have left. And we didn't. So we are also responsible. So we have to take personal responsibility and accountability because we helped create that situation by staying there, didn't we? And it might seem really tough and really difficult. Like, oh my gosh, where do I go? I don't have any money. But there's always a way. If you take a step in faith, there's always going to be a way. Even if you have to, like one of my clients, take your kid and flee to a shelter and live in a shelter for 6 months. It's better than being with a narcissist, especially one that now she finds out is a dark energy, right? But so we're also responsible. So we did help create that situation, or we let it continue to get created month after month, year after year, that we stayed with this person, that we stay with anyone. But her higher self. So I said, how do we untangle all this? Like, what can she do? What can we do? When we tried to disconnect from the husband, there were 7 cords attached to her at her root chakra, and her higher self pulled them and said they were just like, actually her higher self said they were disgusting. Her higher self called those cords disgusting. She said, oh my gosh, these are disgusting. That's what her higher self described them as. And they had little gold tips on the ends from the cord to her root chakra, which meant he was siphoning off everything he could take from her: finances, energy, time, like specifically finances. He was siphoning all of that off of her. So, okay. So her higher self said, with regard to marital contracts, that was the first thing she had to do in order to start untangling this mess, was to get that divorce finalized. So apparently the paperwork had already been started, but she had to work to get all that paperwork done and get the divorce finally finalized. That was the first step. And once she did that, she was going to see, her spirit team was going to open every other door for her, because he ruined her credit. Like her credit was completely trashed because of the bankruptcy, right? Because he took all the money from their joint bank. He convinced her to have a joint bank account. She trusted him at the time, didn't know he was a narcissist at the time. And then he siphoned all the money out of her bank account, her money, to pay his back child support, and left her with no money to pay her house payment. So she had to file bankruptcy. And so her credit was ruined. So now she's got to try to find a place to live for her and 2 young children, and so I said, well, how does she do that with all this stuff going on? Oh yeah, Husky Kimberly, I lived in a shelter with my kids for 3 years. There you go. Yeah. I have another client who did that for like 6 months. She had to get away with her son. Her son was being, actually, in her situation, her son was experiencing some sexual abuse by a non-family member. But
someone's like, can you type the website? Go on YouTube.
How do we type the website? I don't know how I can type on TikTok. I don't think I can type it on TikTok. Can I?
Hold up.
I don't think so. You're looking in somebody else's stuff.
Wait, you can reply. No, hold on. See, I figured it out.
Oh, reply to do the right thing. Okay. My daughter is going to type, it's theconsciouscreatorspath.com to register for my 4-week spiritual awakening boot camp that starts tomorrow night. And again, you can get a recording if you're not there. Okay. So let me finish telling you what her higher self said about marital contracts. Said that is an energy. We say it's just a piece of paper. It's not just a piece of paper. Her higher self said that isn't, put the camera down here. What?
Yes.
Theconsciouscreatorspath.com. Yes. So we just typed it in the comments, the website to register on TikTok. We typed it in for registering for my boot camp. So her higher self said, it's not just a piece of paper. It's literally an energetic binding or an energetic contract between the two of them.
I don't mean to do that.
What'd you do?
I invited someone to go live with you. I don't know who it was.
Oh.
Subconscious knowledge.
Oh, okay.
No good. But I mean, if you want.
So anyway, it's really important, like, and just know that it's an energetic connecting of two people. Also, it's not just a piece of paper, it's an energetic connection between two people. But I want to tell you guys, so also with this person session today, that's why like I went so over the time with her session, because it was so interesting. Is what is it? I tried to schedule a higher self hypnosis online, but it was not successful. Stephanie, you cannot schedule higher self hypnosis with me online. You actually can only schedule a consultation call with me online. And every morning I open up new spots, because that just means that my calendar might be full and all the spots for consultation calls might be full. So just email me at tracy@wokelightworker.com and I'll squeeze you in.
On the consultation call is when
the consultation call is when I actually put you on my calendar if I think it's a good fit for you. That's why I do the consultation call, to make sure that higher self hypnosis is a good fit for you. So if there's nothing available on my calendar, then just email me, tracy@wokelightworker.com.
High loves. How would you start clearing past life wounds with a high level romantic connection?
To start clearing past life wounds with a high level romantic connection, you're going to cut cords, just like we did with her. You're going to cut. There's two things you want to do. You want to cut cords, energetic cords, ask your higher self to do it. And then you want to visualize it. You have to visualize these things. You have to see them happening in order for them to happen. Right? You have to witness it.
And visualizing, like, even just like thinking and speaking a little bit, it's not the same as having the thought and the visualization.
You have to see it happen.
You have to see the images.
That's called witnessing. You have to witness it in order for it to happen.
Yeah, because the creator's doing it through you, but you are witnessing it with your consciousness, and you have to see it, because that's how all this came to be. Once again, visualization.
Yeah.
It's so important. Keep on here to help. Okay, but thanks to you too. Any tips for cutting cords? I'm new to it. It's simply mind, isn't it?
Yeah, you guys, I have a video. If you go to my YouTube channel, Woke Lightworker, okay, it's called the 4 Must-Dos Every Day, or go on TikTok. It's actually in my bio. My link to my YouTube, it's called the 4 Must-Dos Every Day. And these are the 4 must-dos that people's higher selves have given me. This is not something that I made up. This is people's higher self telling me these are the 4 must-dos every day that you want to do. Okay. So the first one you want to do is cutting energetic cords. You want to clear your energetic space. You want to ground, and then you want to shield yourself. If you want to know how to do those, go to my YouTube channel. Like I said, Woke Lightworker, and look for the video called the 4 Must-Dos Every Day. And like, there's not a day goes by I don't do these things more than once. I usually do these things at least 3 or 4 times every single day. All of these things, these 4 must-dos, because of the work I do. I'm constantly in with other people's energy all the time. And even before I started doing this kind of work, I was a realtor and a court reporter. And sitting in court, you're like listening to people's garbage all day long, and their drama and their trauma and their fighting and their negativity. I was always cutting cords and stuff. But
that work was preparing you for this.
Yeah.
You got that. Literally makes so much sense.
That makes so much say sense. It again, someone. Thank you for the another rose, Husky Kimberly. What would be a reason a specific person is off limits to access in the Akashic records?
They don't have a soul.
Well, yeah, like my daughter just said, they might be a dark energy. They might be a dark entity. Maybe there's some sort of block for some reason. Who knows? We can't pretend that we know everything that goes on in the spirit realm. Oh my gosh, guys. I learn new things all the time. Maybe there's some sort of lock on it for some reason. I don't know. You know, I can't pretend to even begin.
One too many mistakes.
I can't begin to pretend to even know, because every time, I mean, guys, I talk to people's higher selves every single day, and I learn something new every single day. Every single day. There's just like, it's mind blowing. It's literally mind blowing. So today,
because technically it's being created every day still by creators.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah, we're like here. We are here endless. As a fractal of creator, and we're here to expand creator. We're here to expand consciousness.
And because there's like no time, and there's past, present, and future, and like it's always changing the past, as well as the future. Like it's kind of just like an infinity symbol that like is just like, but like DNA, like how DNA looks, like it's kind of like, and then it constantly switches and changes. Like that's how I'm like seeing and feeling in my mind. Okay, and Creator is speaking through us right now, giving us the highest truth right now.
So as far as cutting cords, guys, you can just imagine however you want, but again, you're going to visualize it and you're going to see it. So cutting cords, you want to, I'm just trying to look at the screen. You want to, you can just imagine like a giant pair of scissors going all around you. I imagine myself like suspended in the middle of nothingness, really. Like I close my eyes and I imagine that. And I just imagine these big giant pair of scissors just coming all around and just cutting every cord. And yes, you want to cut cords with everything. Right? You want to be in your own energetic space. You don't want cords attached to you from anything or anyone. And then, or you can imagine like Archangel Michael or an angel coming down with their sword of light and just slashing all the cords away from you. Whatever works.
It's all about your own individuality. And also when you leave people, do you think she'll be mad if I tell her thing?
No, not at all. Okay, when you leave people, she's going to show you something that she learned.
When you walk away from people, when you're saying bye to people, go like this, feel the energy, and just have the intention that the energy of you and of Creator through you is flowing through your hands, and push the energy. Be like, okay, bye, like, or whatever. Or they don't have to see you doing it, but push the energy and just feel and have the attention that the energy is getting out of your field and then zip up your field. So you stay in your energy solely and what is in your highest and best alignment and doesn't get interfered with other people's energy.
Right. Yeah. That's a good one.
Or, I mean, you don't have to do that specifically. Once again, it's always whatever works for you, but always clear your energy from other people.
Hello.
Okay, so my son is just joining us, and why are we not seeing you on the screen? Why do we have your picture? So this is my son, everyone. He's 21. His name is Christian, and I popped him on the screen really quick so he could just say hi to everyone. There he is. And so what is it like having a mom who's like sleeps, eats, and breathes spirituality? What is that like?
It's very different compared to all the other moms out there. But it's not a bad thing. I think it's a good thing. You're raised differently and you learn new things, and it's great.
And it's great. It's really great. Husky Kimberly, another rose. Thanks.
It's so amazing compared to how we would be living if she still didn't find spirituality. Like it's a blessing.
And there's my other son, Justin. Well, actually show Justin. Is Justin out there? I thought I saw him. And let's ask Justin the same question. What does he think it's like being raised by a mom? Hey, Justin, my Justin is 19. What is it like being raised by a mom? And I'm sorry, guys, on YouTube. Okay. This is on TikTok. So I have my two sons joining on TikTok. So Justin, what is it like being raised by a mom who's like sleeps, eats, and breathes spirituality? I'll tell you guys on YouTube what he says.
Oh, there's like no time for us.
No time for you?
Fully consumed on work and fully consumed on just learning a bunch of stuff, like 24/7, reading, gaining as much knowledge as possible while also working all the time.
I'm sorry, what's the last thing you said?
And I said, and just constantly working with clients all the time.
Yeah. Pattylicious, thank you for the stars. That was amazing. Thank you. Yeah. Working with clients all the time. My kids come in and they're like trying to talk to me when I'm doing a session. And I'm like, yeah, you got to either write it down on a sticky note or you got to text me. And when they're in between answering a question or I'm waiting for their higher self to answer a question, like, because sometimes there's like long pauses while they're waiting for their information to come down from their higher self. Then I'll like quickly look at my phone and be like, okay, yeah, you can eat dinner now or whatever it is they're asking me. So I don't mean to be distracted when I'm doing it, but I'm a mom too. But anyway, what do you want to share, Christian?
What do you mean? What do I want to share?
You want to share anything else? Or are you done being part of our live?
Okay, bye.
I don't know what else to say.
Okay, dude. Thanks for joining us.
No No problem. All I gotta say is free top G.
Okay. Anyway. Oh, you guys said on YouTube you could hear him. Okay. So somebody asked me, what was the question? It was a really good question. I'm sorry. I don't know how. He's got to hang up. Okay. What was the question? My son thinks I'm crazy. Somebody said, "Oh, beautiful children. Thank you. I'm jealous. You get a great mom." I don't know. Ask my daughter, Chair Bear. She doesn't always think I'm such a great mom because I have rules, but we won't go into that. Okay. Oh, wow. I just told my kids to do this with their hands. Didn't know it was a thing. Yeah. So when you meet someone or when you're done talking to someone, you can just cut the energy just like this and just cut it. But oh yeah. So for cutting cords, you do want to cut cords. And then, someone asked, what can you do to kind of protect your house? Watch my video. Go to YouTube and watch my video called The 4 Must-Dos Every Day. I tell you guys what you can do to shield your house, what you can do to clear your house. Light is a really good thing. Pure divine white light. That's what Higher Self says.
Or it doesn't have to be white, but
well, that's what Higher Self uses in almost all of the healings and clearings in my sessions.
Pink or like pink and white.
Pink is good for love.
Probably end up seeing,
and love clears things too.
Yeah.
Pink is like an energy used a lot that represents love. So
you'll probably see white. Sorry, probably, but
yeah, a lot of times it's pure white divine light.
Yeah.
So go to my YouTube, or if you're in TikTok, you can click on my bio. Not only to register for my Spiritual Awakening Bootcamp starting tomorrow night, my 4-week class, but to also get on my mailing list. So you guys find out when registration opens for my December 6th. Narcissist manipulation gaslighting class is December 6th. So make sure you're on my email list to be notified of that, or join me on Instagram or Facebook under Woke Lightworker so you can see my notifications too. But what you can also see the 4 must-dos every day that I go through. It's like a 12-minute video, but it's like literally you'll use it every day for the rest of your life. It's grounding, shielding, cutting cords, and clearing your energetic space.
And always state that you want any grounding, any healing, any cutting, any for anything with creator's perspective or highest and best interest or alignment or truth or love, whatever fits the situation, but always from creator, because that is the highest and the most truthful everything.
What causes having too many nightmares? You'd literally have to ask your higher self, because I couldn't even tell you. So do I see people with demons and dark energies and dark entities attached to them? Not every single higher self hypnosis session I do, but I had a lady, what day was it? Friday maybe? And she had one attached to the side of her stomach. And it looked like, her higher self described it to me, it looked like a big, giant open mouth that was always hungry and never full. That was what that dark entity, no, she called it a demon. Her higher self called it a demon. That's what that demon looked like. And then she had another one that was attached to her right arm. So we had those both removed too. And because they were demons, her higher self actually wasn't able to cast them off. We had to actually have creator come and get them down. And I told this story a little bit earlier. But there was another woman who had a demon, and as soon as it was taken off of her into creator's light, because of creator touching that demon with pure love energy, the demon just broke down into a puddle of tears, because of the love that just touched it and impacted it. So if you guys do contact me for a consultation call to get a higher self hypnosis session, just know that I don't have any sessions open. I think I might have 2 dates open in February, but otherwise we're in March. And I think I have like 5 dates left in March, but everything else is going to be in April. So I'm usually booked out about 6 months. It's a little bit less than 6 months now. I have a few extra dates open, but yeah, so if you're looking for a consultation call, but that's okay, because I give you homework to do and how to prepare. And I guarantee if you listen to my advice on what to do and how to prepare, you'll have an even better session by waiting. Plus, I am taking so much training, you guys, like so much training. It's crazy, to make my sessions even better, that I am learning at, like, I feel like I'm learning at hyper speed. So actually having a session further out, you get the advantage of even more training. And every single time I take a training class, which I take at least 2 a week, get that? At least 2 a week. And the week over Thanksgiving, I'm taking 5 classes. Every time, every one class, my sessions just like skyrocket. So today I'm going to give you an example. Again, same session I had today. This woman has so much trauma because she served in Afghanistan. So she was in the Navy, and then she was in the Navy Reserve, and she got sent to Afghanistan for a year. And she couldn't even talk about all of, and I'm talking about this session because she gave me permission. My clients always sign a waiver giving me permission to share their stories, because I never give away their identity or anything, of course. So everyone signs a waiver or they don't do a session with me, because I do want to use their information for teaching purposes. But she also gave me permission to post her session. So guys, her session is going to be up within 4 days, 5 days on my Patreon channel. So if you want to watch her full session, which is fascinating, because there's so much more that happened in her session that I just don't even have time to get into, but it's patreon.com/woke lightworker. So everything's all woke lightworker: Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, my website, Patreon, Pinterest, everything is woke lightworker, all one word. So on Patreon, it's like $22 a month, and you guys can see all my newest sessions that we post out there, but hers is all my newest work. I literally used a technique with her. I will tell you guys. I literally used a technique with her where she has so much trauma, number one, from her dad dying when she was in Afghanistan. So she was like devastated that her dad, like the man she loves more than anyone in the world, died while she was in Afghanistan, and she couldn't get home quick enough. So she was just heartbroken and has, like, said she doesn't even know where to begin to grieve. And he died in 2015, and she still hasn't grieved his death. Like, it's all this pent up grief, and she just didn't even know how to start. And she experienced tons and tons of abuse. And I've been hearing more and more in my sessions, guys, about the military and women and the incredible abuse from every branch that they experience in the military. So it's just eye-opening for me to hear these stories. It's like, wow, who would have thought? My daughter's in the military, and no, she hasn't said anything, but she's never been active duty either. She's always been reserves. Yes, she's always been reserve. Yeah. But anyway, so she went active duty reserves, and she was in Afghanistan for a year and has so much trauma. And I tried to get her to go into it and tell me a little bit about it in her session today, and she wouldn't. She's like, I can't go there. And she was crying, and she's like, I cannot go there. I'm not ready to even open that box. I can't even process that pain. There's no way I can even tell you anything about it, because I won't even look at it. And she was just adamant. She was like, I'm not even going to look at it. So when I did her session today, I asked her higher self, I said, okay, I have a technique I'm going to try. And I literally just learned this last week in one of my trainings. And it's the 3rd time I've used this technique. And every single time I've used it, it's turned out the same. So I know it's working. And anyway, so I asked her higher self, I said, does she have to relive the trauma from her dad's death and from her being in Afghanistan? Does she have to relive it? Does she have to process it? What is she, or can she just have it be pulled? Can you just pull it from her so she doesn't have to experience it? She doesn't have to just live through all those details again. I mean, she's already experienced it once. Can she just can you just pull it? Can we just let it go? And all 3 of these people that I've used this new technique with, including her higher self, said, no, she doesn't have to relive this. She doesn't have to re-see anything, and she doesn't have to process anything. It literally can just be pulled, and she doesn't need to experience any of that, and it will be gone. It will literally be gone. It will leave her. She will not have that trauma, that pain any longer. So it's a really long story to go into of how I do it. But if you watch her full session, you'll be able to see it. Like I said, it's going to be on my Patreon channel probably in about 4 or 5 days by the time my editor gets it edited and gets it put up on Patreon. But it will be my newest session that's put out there because I want hers to get out there right away because there was just so much good stuff in there. But yeah, at the end, when I did this technique with her higher self, I said, so is it gone? And her higher self said, yeah, it's actually gone. It's not going to come back again. And then her higher self said, if it does, what she needs to do is just know that it's like almost like a ghost memory. It's not the actual memory, if that makes sense. I call them like imprints. Okay. It's like an imprint. It's not the actual memory. It's like a ghost being left behind, or like a cloud of smoke being left behind after a car drives away. There's like exhaust smoke that's left behind. And if she just sends that away a couple of times, like clears that smoke away, it'll be gone and it won't ever come back. And I said, well, how about if we do that right now? How about if you do that right now, higher self? How about if you go behind that car that just drove away, basically clean up all that exhaust smoke and send all of that, any imprints of those memories, anything left over from those memories that could possibly come and impact her or affect her in the future. I don't want her to ever have to deal with any of that ever again. How about if you just clear all of that up right now? Can you do that? And her higher self said, yeah, I can do that. And then I said, well, what does it look like for you to do that? And her higher self said, wow, it actually looks like a ghost, like a ghost memory. And I said, yeah, that's what I call an imprint. So her higher self cleaned it up. And I said, so that's all gone too. And this trauma, these memories, none of this should come back to her memory. It should not impact her anymore. And her higher self said, no, it's gone. It's gone. I said, is it gone? Her higher self said, it's gone. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty powerful. So even if you have to schedule a session later out with me in April, oh my gosh, I have a huge class coming up in April and a huge class coming up in March. So if you need physical healing, you probably want to wait till both of those classes are done, because those are like big time, major intuitive anatomy, physical healing classes. So if you can wait that long and schedule like the end of March or beginning of May, that would be even better, because I will have way more training on intuitive anatomy and healing, like physical healing stuff in my sessions. So let's see what everybody else has said. Linda said, I'm so excited for our session on Sunday. Oh, me too. Linda, I love doing my sessions with you. You know that. Speaking of learning, I had been writing down questions to ask my higher self, but I wondered if you've ever had a client who had bad sleep paralysis. Oh my gosh, I just had one that had bad sleep paralysis. Oh my gosh. It was demons. It was hers. I'm not saying yours is, but I've had several and they were demons. Like she was literally being pinned down in her bed by demons. And her higher self just described it in great detail. And I don't remember because it was like last week. And like I told you, these sessions kind of all blend together in my head after a while. But yeah, thank you for bringing that up about sleep paralysis, because I'm definitely going to add that to my book, talking about different like things regarding demons, dark. I'm going to make a chapter or a section called Demons, Dark Energies, and Dark Entities. I'm going to do that. And I'll include stuff like that. But yeah, you definitely you have to call creator down for things like that. And you got to see creator removing them, and just know that you have the power and authority and not them. Like, no, they can't. What are you looking at me for?
How much are your sessions?
Go to my website, wokelightworker.com. That has my current pricing on it. So this is going to be a recording that's going to stay on my YouTube channel for a while. So I don't want to put something out that has my current pricing and then my pricing changes and someone says, oh, that's false advertising because on your YouTube live, you said the price was a certain thing and it's not that anymore. So now you need to give it to me for your old price. So just go to wokelightworker.com, click on hypnosis, the tab that says hypnosis. And in there, it describes the whole process and my pricing, because you can do past life and in between life sessions only, which is like 2.5 to 3 hours. I think it's like 2 to 2.5 hours. I think it's like 2 to 2.5 hours. Or you can do the higher self, past life, and the life in between life session. And that's all day. So we do like 3 hours in the morning and like 3 to 3.5 hours in the afternoon.
Your necklace is beautiful. How do you?
Thank you.
Hold on, wait. Was told to have white and gold aura, so maybe I'm protected.
Yeah, you still always want to shield yourself. Yeah. And a lot of us are very protected, especially if you came here to do like spiritual work or be a healer. Like, it just seems like we come down with like extra protection from our team, and our team really watches over like a little bit extra because we're going to be digging into other people's energy. But that doesn't mean that you still don't do those 4 must-dos. So make sure you go to my YouTube channel.
Anyway.
Go to my YouTube channel, Woke Lightworker, and watch that video that I have called the 4 must-dos every day. And that was from People's Higher Self, again, teaching you like the 4 things you want to do every single day, that everyone wants to do every single day: grounding, shielding, cord cutting, and clearing your energetic space at least once a day. I do it like at least 4 times a day, given the work that I do.
And I have odd dreams, but never had sleep paralysis. Remember, your dreams are always messages for you, so pay attention. Unless,
well, your dreams are not always messages for you, because I'll tell you guys, I do in my higher self hypnosis sessions, higher self sometimes says that our dreams are us going to visit other realities and other places. It's
really?
It's actually us. Wow. And you can also visit fragments and pieces of other people's lives and experiences in your dreams. So to me, dream interpretation, I just throw that right out the window. Like, after I've done hundreds of these sessions, I think dream interpretation's like maybe right sometimes, but usually not.
Yeah,
because
you just
really just have to ask your higher self,
yeah.
like, what in the world is the meaning of that dream? What was that? Because it's so different for every single person. It's literally endless.
And every night.
Every night.
Yeah.
Every night.
What has higher self said about astrology?
I haven't really had anybody ask much about astrology, but I will tell you guys, like I told in my live the other night, I had a really awesome birth chart reading from this guy named Sammy Moog, Moog. Sami is his first name. I think it's spelled Sammy Moog. I don't get anything for referring people to him, but I just thought he did such an incredible job that I highly recommend him. So if you're looking for a really good birth chart, I'll get you one. If you're looking for a really good birth chart reading, go to Sammy Moog. Maybe there's somebody on here who does birth chart readings too, and you want to put your name in the ring and let everybody know you do birth chart readings. That's totally fine. Go ahead and do that. But I got referred to him from another client that I had a session with, and she really enjoyed his birth chart reading of her. So I felt like, yeah, I feel like that sounds right. It sounds like it would be a good fit. And so I did one with him, and it was so good.
Do you write it down the minute you wake up? Train your brain. Yes, do that. That's amazing. Have you done sessions with your kids? Yes, she's done a session on me.
I've done sessions on her.
Yeah, sessions on
me.
We
tried on my 19-year-old son a number of years ago, and he saw a future life. He didn't see a past life. He saw a future life. And I think that's what we asked to be shown. He saw a future life, but then when we tried to call forth his higher self, he wasn't able to just like let go and relax. Like he just couldn't let go. But that was a number of years ago, so maybe it'd be different if I tried now. And we hypnotized one of his friends.
Didn't we?
Yeah.
And she's in my soul group, and I'm getting the feeling that you're in one of your other kids' soul groups, but I don't know who. But I just have that feeling like it's me and one other, and then the rest aren't usually. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, guys, I was going to share something else from this session today. Okay, this is what her higher self said. That her, but I'm going to say this is the same for everyone. A lot of people, especially if you have trouble establishing and enforcing healthy boundaries with others and not saying no and not standing up for yourself when you should, is we give people way too many passes on red flags. Like, we see red flags from people. We'll get like a twinge in ourselves telling us, oh, there's something like, oh yeah, I probably shouldn't like be around this person much or give them much of my time or my energy or whatever. And we just overlook that and go, oh, but I need to be nice and I want to be nice and I don't want to be rude. And they invited me over for dinner or whatever. I want to be nice. So no. Higher self is always like, no, just stop that game. That's just like a dumb game. That's a program. Being nice is just a program. And Linda, the Caravia, who's on here, I think her and I with her higher self talked about the program of being nice. And it's just like an awful program. Like there's nothing that says you have to be nice. You have to be kind. You don't have to.
Generous,
right? You have
kind,
to be kind,
compassionate. But
yeah, kind, compassionate.
nice
But you
when
don't
it's not
have to
being
be.
reciprocated.
Well, you don't have to be nice. Okay. The word nice is like, it's not. You don't have to be nice. The only one you have to be nice to is yourself. Like you got to put yourself first. When people say, oh, just be nice, it means just give me what I want. That's like a form of manipulation. It's a program. Be nice. Be nice to other people. That's manipulation. It's trying to get you to say no to yourself and yes to them. Be kind to other people.
Nicely say no.
Right. So the kindest thing, higher self said this, the kindest thing you can do to someone else is to say no to them when you need to put yourself first. That's the kindest thing you can do. But the other person might say, well, gosh, you're not being very nice. But nice is a program. Kind is not. So there's a difference between being nice and being kind. Nice is manipulation. Kind is love, right? But sometimes it's kind to say no to someone because then you are loving yourself more. That person needs to love themselves first. You need to love yourself first. You're not responsible. You were not put on this earth to love someone else more than yourself. Ever put on this earth to love anyone else more than yourself. Mm-hmm. It's always you first. You love yourself first. And therefore, and then from there, the love spreads out. It's not selfish to love yourself at all, at all. Haha, Linda. Writing that down. Yeah, write that down. Kindness is how we can honor ourselves and let it overflow if we want, said Linda. Yes, exactly. Haha, we did talk about nice. How nice isn't kind, right? Yeah.
She is training a few people to learn how to do hypnosis right now, but she hasn't done any classes. Are you ever going to do classes?
So I was talking to people. I'm not going to do class. Okay, hold on. Let me say it like this. If you're interested in learning like this kind of hypnosis and how to do it, like you absolutely 100%. If anyone's going to work with me, they have to know 100% that this is their calling and their purpose. I don't have the time or energy to work with people that think it's interesting and it would be fun, but they don't know 100% that it's their calling. So I've had 2 people recently who have done sessions with me who wanted to ask their higher self because they truly believed in their hearts that this was their calling and that this was their purpose and this is why they were here. Actually, I had 3 people. I take that back. 3 people who wanted to ask that question. The first one, her higher self said, it absolutely is your purpose and it is your calling. And this is definitely what you're meant to do. And then her second question she wanted me to ask was, would it be beneficial or best for her to work with me? And her higher self said, yes, in the beginning, because Tracy has all the, because I've learned through trial and error, Tracy has all the systems set up. It's literally a business in a box, literally a business in the box that I'm going to be training these people to get you completely up and running and then being part of my team if I decide to hire you to be part of my team. And then I'll be in charge of all the marketing and everything and help you and I'll be the one giving you clients. So that's just a totally different way of doing it rather than just you trying to figure everything out on your own. But the second lady that I did this session for, her higher self said, no, it's actually not your purpose. And then her higher self proceeded, and she was convinced this was her purpose. Her higher self said, no, it's not. And then her higher self told her what her purpose is and said, this is what her higher self said. It's way bigger than just doing sessions. And I was like, oh, excuse me. No, I didn't get offended. But it was a much bigger, like, meaning when I say bigger, it was like speaking in front of huge auditoriums full of people about spiritual things. So her purpose was like on a different level and went a different direction. But she was convinced this was her purpose because she was just fascinated by it. And then the third person that I recently, actually in the last week, just did a hypnosis session with, her higher self said, yes, this is her purpose, just like she thought. And yes, it is in her best and highest good to work with me, at least in the beginning. So until I know for sure 100% that it is your purpose and that you are meant to work with me, my time is so, my time and my energy, just like you guys, your time and your energy are the most valuable things that you have. And you have to protect them, just like if it's like gold you're holding on to. And you have to be really careful who you give your time and your energy to, because those are two things that you can't get back, your time or your energy. And so the only way that I'm going to work with anyone is they have to do a session with me. And then I have a whole mentoring contract that I'm almost finished completing. And there is a mentoring fee to join, because there's no training that's free. And but I'm giving you a business in a box where you literally could walk out making about if you work 5 days a week, almost 6 figures a year by the time you fit in the first year. And that's not just a pie in the sky number. So, but you have to do a session with me, and I have to know and hear from your higher self that it is part of your purpose and that you are meant to work with me, and possibly, if you're accepted, to be on my team, if you want to go that route and also be on my team, but you get a business in a box. But I only want to work with a max of probably 4 people, and I've already got 2. So if you want to do a session and ask if it's your purpose, and if your higher self says yes, and if your higher self says yes, that you're supposed to work with me, then I can absolutely work with you and mentor you.
And also you ask Creator to draw in the right souls that are meant to come.
Yeah, I already put that out there a long time ago. I put that order in the kitchen a long time ago and said anybody who's meant to work with me is going to find me. And I don't even have to advertise for that.
And someone says, what if we have rebellious teenagers who don't believe in spirituality?
That's okay. It's their journey. It's totally their journey, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She's surrounded by them in school.
Yeah.
And how do we what?
I've opened a little bit of people's minds.
What was the rest of the question? And how do we
clear our home?
How do you clear your home? Go watch my video. Well, you can just use white light too, or
however you want to do it.
You just visualize it. Yeah. Visualize it however you want. You can take sage, clear your whole house with sage. You can take crystals and charge the crystal with, whatever kind of crystal you have. Charge it with clearing energy.
I want this for my home. I want this furniture. I want this furniture to serve its best purpose, and I want this couch to serve the energy and purpose of comfort and bring my family together, and
and your bed with calmness and peace, so that when you lay in bed, you can charge your bed with the energy of peace and calmness, and
it'll give you a good night's
rest,
heal your body, whatever. Literally, you don't even have to keep asking, how do I do this? How do I do it? However, use your imagination. Use your imagination. It's all about the imagination. The stomach and the demon with the mouth, the pool and tears, that's all because everything is just imagination from Creator. So anything you want, just imagine, set the intention, and believe and trust in it. And that's literally all there is to it. And it can go so far. It's your imagination.
Yeah.
That's why we can imagine anything possible, because anything is possible.
Guys, I just got a notification come through on my phone from my amazing designer who designs she does all my video stuff. She does all my social media stuff. Hold on, Cherish. She read a comment on YouTube and she's laughing. But she just sent me a message saying she's working on the Black Friday special design right now. So again, the Black Friday special is going to be a discounted price on my December 6th gaslighting, manipulation, and narcissist class. That's going to be for 2 hours on December 6th. So make sure you guys are on my email list, or you're not going to get notified you're not going to get a Black Friday notification, or you follow me on Instagram or Facebook where I can actually put still stuff, because on TikTok I can't put still stuff. So you got to be on Instagram or Facebook to get those, or make sure you're on my email list, and you guys will get my Black Friday email. What does it say?
Because I kept yawning and I was like, yo, they said yawn.
Somebody said yawn again. I'm gonna take a drink. Love the conversation.
But
Love your videos. Oh, Alex, you're here, Alex.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, I
your
love you. Your arm's right in front of the camera.
Your imagination is God, so be careful what you imagine. Yes, because literally your imagination is.
Do witches exist? Yeah, witches exist. I mean, it's most witches today though are just they're mainly into like earthy stuff and like grounding and connecting with nature and trees and plants and things like that. So yeah, I mean, witches have always, you can call your witch, you can call yourself a witch, you can call yourself whatever you want. I mean, it's kind of like any like religion or something like that. But yeah, I mean, witches exist.
And
I saw you on TikTok. I love how you speak. I wish I could speak like that. Thank you. So just with, no, what is that? Jules, a comment. Jules with the Jules sent me a rose. Thank you. I sleep with selenite every night. Chantal. Oh, Chantal. Chantal said I sleep with selenite every night. That's awesome. Where does imagination come from? Okay, guys, can anybody give me a new word? Because I've been looking and talking to my spirit team and saying, I want a new, different word besides imagination. I don't like the word imagination because it makes you think of kids, and imagination, when people say use your imagination, it's been so degraded as like, oh, look at that little kid, just go use your imagination and go play. It's like a kid thing. So I was thinking like something like creative, your creative mindset. Portal, your creative portal. Use your creative portal that you have up here to visualize and create anything you want. Okay. We're not here to create the same things over and over. So if you ask me, what can I do to clear my house? I'm going to tell you things that I've already created in my mind. Okay. I'm going to tell you things that I see in my mind. I might be like, okay, wave this crystal around, or do, what is it called? Sage, do sage. Well, everybody says do sage, but that's not using your creative portal. Remember, I'm saying that instead of imagination. It doesn't mean
nothing if you don't put the intention to it.
You can put the intention behind anything, right? Literally, you could okay, now I've created this. Okay. You could literally go and like take your breath and like breathe all over the room and say, my breath has clearing power in it. And you could literally walk around like putting your breath all over a room and say that your breath is clearing an entire room, right? You
just have to trust in it.
Literally, just use your creative portal. Anything we don't have, there's not such a thing as a lack of healing or a lack of anything else. It's a lack of using your creative portal. Like, just use it.
The self-block that you're just like, oh, well, I wish I could change this. I wish I could. You can stop saying it. Like, I hear that all the time. I say something like that. I wish, or I want. I'm like, wait, okay, I'm going to. I am right now. Yeah. And it's as simple as that.
Yeah, just create it.
I'll have to message you.
I got my QHH certificate after a session with you. Awesome. There's a lot. If you do your how is Shadow? Alex is asking. Great. Shadow is amazing. Shadow's my dog, my husky. QHHT is good, guys. I started with QHHT, Dolores Cannon's method, but there's so much they don't teach you. And I will tell you, like, the extra education that I've gotten has just taken my sessions to a completely different level. And it's not me, it's my guides, and they're constantly teaching me and adding things to it that I never learned in the QHHT. And that's fine. I mean, they teach what they teach, and it's static now. QHHT is static now because when Dolores Cannon died, it just like kind of froze there. And just like I said about, we're not meant to come here and create the same thing that's already been created over and over and over and over. I mean, imagine literally if someone came down, and you know the kids movie Cars, if someone came down and just created Cars movies all the time, and they created like the same movie all the time, and they're like, no, but it's a different movie because I made this movie and it's Cars, but it's exactly like the original Cars. You'd be like, you just created the same thing. And then somebody else came along and goes, look, I created this movie called Cars. And you're like, dude, I watched it. It's literally the same movie. And they're like, no, but I created it. But I saw that one and it was such a good one. So I went and created my own. And maybe they did the animation on their own, but they just created the exact same movie. Like, how ridiculous would that be? That's ridiculous. No one would keep watching the same Cars movie recreated. It's just a different person creating it. Like, that's just stupid. You'd never do that. So it's the same thing when we're just like, oh, let's create the exact same thing over and over and over. That's not creator. And because you are creator, you are a creator. And you're not here to recreate. Otherwise, we'd be called recreators, wouldn't we? We wouldn't be called creator. We'd be called recreators. We're not recreators. We're creators. So let's see what other people are saying. I was something in another life. Okay. It's like when people do cover songs and everything sounds almost the same, except maybe a different voice. Can guides give or predict the timelines of certain events? They can, but they don't like to, especially in my sessions. Like, and with most mediums and psychics, we don't like to do that because there's so many timelines. You could literally walk out 2 seconds later and make a totally different decision than you would have before you did the session or where you were at that moment. So there's like infinite timelines. So let's get out of our heads and we got to unhook the past, guys. Take that hook out of your neck, unhook the past, leave the past alone, and stop looking forward in the future and trying to have your crystal ball looking in the future. Your power, you guys are giving your power away when you do that. You know that? Like, you're totally giving your power away by recreating the past that's no longer happening to you right now. It's not happening to you right now. The past is not happening right now. So when you recreate the past and bring it here, you're recreating it again. So like I said, you're not being a creator, you're being a recreator, and you're totally giving your power away because that's time and energy and effort you could be using to be in the now moment, creating new stuff now in the now moment that's going to then become your future, right? And then instead of worrying about the future or living for the future or living in the future, plan things like that. But instead of living in the future or worried about the future, you're giving away your time and your energy thinking about things that are probably not even going to happen anyway. Yeah. So you guys are totally giving your power away when you're just regurgitating and recreating things from the past and worrying about anticipating. And I wonder if this, and I wonder if this, and what about this? And I wonder if this, and you're totally like, I'm moving out west this summer, guys. Like, I have no idea where I'm going to be living. Like, I just know my team has told me to go there. And I'm totally living in faith and knowing in faith because they're telling me to go there. And I know how to listen to my spirit team, and I'm going. And so I'm not sitting here like freaking out and worried about where am I going to go? What am I going to do? How am I going to pack my things? How much stuff should I bring with me? And because I let go, I will tell you this, my spirit team, when I'm not even thinking about it, when I just have a quiet mind and I'm just resting in bed and just snuggling with my cat, who's laying on my chest or something like that, all of a sudden, like the other day, this idea pops in my head. Okay, you're going to sell this and this and this, and this is all the furniture. You're going to sell this furniture. You're going to sell this. And then you're going to take the rest of it. And you're going to rent one of those pod things and you're going to take the rest with you. And like everything else, you're just going to sell. And this is when you're going to start selling it. And this is how you're going to do it. And I wasn't even thinking about that. I was just like, you know what? I'm just giving it up to the universe and I'm not going to spend time and energy and effort just worrying about this and this move. Because it's a really big move to move across the country with 3 kids and 4 animals, just myself. So that's a lot to think about. And I could be completely freaked out because I'm going to a place I've never lived. I don't have any family there. I don't know anybody there. My daughter and I toured it. We fell in love with it out in Wyoming. But other than that, it's like, wow, we're going and it's a new adventure and my team's telling me to go. So I'm going, and I know how to hear from them.
And there's a difference between planning and worrying, like changing, no,
being flexible,
don't use the
right?
word like fix or whatever. Always use the word change. That is creator's word, change, because creator can just change anything, change time, change. So if you really want something to change about the past, you can change it. Just literally say you want it changed. Ask creator to have it changed. But you don't need to waste your human mind wasting time thinking about it over and over and over again and planning and creating your future is once again something different. But yeah, timelines change.
Tracy can't wait for our session next Saturday. Yeah, I think I just had a session open for a weekend, which I don't have any more weekend sessions like available. I don't think I'm going to do any weekend sessions in 2023 because I got to get moved and I got to plan and I got to use my weekends to write these courses that I'm teaching and to plan my move because it's going to happen in June. So I think you got one of my last, like literally probably my last weekend session that I have coming up. So can I set up a session with you before you move? I tried emailing. Email me at tracy@wokelightworker.com if you want to set up a session. If you can't get on my calendar at wokelightworker.com on my website, but I do all my sessions online. So you can set up a session with me before I move. That's fine. Or you can set it up with me after I move. I'm going to take off the last 3 weeks in June for my move and the first probably 2.5 weeks in July because I have to get moved and I have to get settled in a totally new state. If anyone lives in Wyoming, just email me. We can be friends.
And a couple people asked, is there a dimension where...
Is there a negative dimension?
A dimension where Satan or the devil lives, where demons and dark energies live?
Gosh, I haven't asked any questions like that, guys, in any of my sessions, so I don't want to just be like speaking from myself
Just ask
and what I've
feel
learned.
What comes to you right now.
Well, I think that we can create anything we want, right? And I don't know if there's a dimension. I guess I'm going to pass on answering that one because I really feel like I'd really have to ask about that. I want to ask about it in hypnosis sessions. Okay. I grew up in Wyoming, Casper and Larry. Okay. That's where we're looking. We're looking at, we're going to go to Casper. Yeah, we're going to Casper, Wyoming. During the session, are you also journeying with the higher self and the energy too? Yeah, I'm channeling the entire time. Like I'm totally channeling my higher self, my spirit team. The entire time when I do these sessions, my team is talking to me. I'm listening to the person talk to me. And then my team is like talking to me the entire time. Like sometimes if the person's higher self is saying like something that's like really, like really good advice, my team is like tapping me on the shoulder going, you need to listen to that one too, Tracy. So yeah, my team is talking to me the entire time and they're telling me literally what to say for the next question and the follow-up question and where the direction to take my questions, especially when I do psychic surgery facilitation. So like if people have physical issues, my team is totally leading and guiding me on what kind of questions to ask. And, can I have this organ do this? And can you change it and put a regulator on this organ so it doesn't release too much cortisol into the bloodstream? And, can you do this? And with regard to diabetes or the cancer or whatever it is. And I get more and more people with cancer lately. It's pretty interesting that I'm getting more people with cancer coming to me. But yeah, I'm constantly channeling my higher self and my team the entire time.
Someone asked how,
what if a person can't be hypnotized? That just means that you have a control problem. You're a control freak. It means that you won't let go. It means that you don't want to be vulnerable. You don't want to be vulnerable.
Or your mind. Yeah.
You don't want to be vulnerable.
You just didn't.
You don't want to be vulnerable.
Open your mind to.
Yeah. So you just got to practice that. Because you can. Everybody can hypnosis. This type is no different than meditation. And so the only way over that is to practice guided wake time meditations when you're awake, doing guided meditations. That's how you prepare for these type of sessions so that you can be ready and train your ego. I got a blister on my hand from raking leaves yesterday. Yeah, because the blower wouldn't start. So we had to rake leaves. But anyway. So yeah,
let's go to
that's
India.
What you want to do.
Let's
go to India. India would be fun. I used to live in Gillette. Sammy said, okay.
And does spirituality is it related to Hinduism and Buddhism?
Yeah, all the religions are related. I mean, if you think about it, it's just whatever kind of label you put on it, and then whatever man-made rules you put on it. Spirituality doesn't have any rules. I mean,
but I would say Buddhism is probably the most.
It's the closest, but it's still, it's still kind of a religion, though. You know what I mean? They still have everybody has like different like kind of rules. Spirituality is really just about you guys. It's just about you finding you. I think
it's all about the truth, really.
It's all about being love, just exuding love. God is love, creator is love. And it's literally just being creator on the planet, just being love to everyone and everything around you. Now, again, love, and that means to yourself too. It doesn't mean sacrificing yourself. It does not mean sacrificing yourself and putting yourself last and putting everyone else ahead of you and trying to save everyone else. That's not your job. Your job first is to love yourself, right? God, I'm going to read from this book really quickly, guys. It's called A Return to Love by Marianne Williamson. A Return to Love by Marianne Williamson. This is the first book on spirituality that I ever read, and it just blew my socks off because I had been a Christian before this for my whole life and really into church and Christianity, and I was a charismatic Christian, so I believed in healing, laying on of hands, talking in tongues, all of that. But so I got this book, and it says, God, and this is a quote she takes from a book called A Course in Miracles, which is like the best book ever. God is the love within us. When we choose love or to allow our minds to be one with God, then life is peaceful. When we turn away from love, the pain sets in, right? But whether we choose love or we close our hearts to love is a mental choice we make every moment of the day. So I'll read that again. Whether we love or close our hearts to love, because if you're doing one or the other, you're either loving or closing your heart to love. It's a mental choice we make every moment of every day. Like, think about that. Like, that's huge.
Yeah, it's entirely up to us.
Yeah, it's a choice we make every single day. And that's how, and creator is love, right? And that's how we become our higher self too, is just connecting with love and choosing the path of love. Like that's what spirituality is. There's no rules. There's no, like, it's not saying you're going to be perfect or anything else, because in spirituality, it's like, hey, everything's just a lesson and there's no right and there's no wrong. Everything is good. Everything is perfect. Everything's just a lesson. You choose to go, with a guy who takes you down this really crazy path in life. That's just a lesson, right? Lesson learned. Mm-hmm. So this woman today that I had this session with, who's been married to this narcissist since, I think they get married in 2016 or something like that. And she's been beating herself up about wasting all these years, wasting this time on this guy. And I asked her higher self, was it a waste of time? I mean, it was a rhetorical question for me, but I said, was it a waste of time? And her higher self said, no, it was an experience. Mm-hmm. It's never a waste of time when you have an experience, whether you consider that experience to be positive or you consider that experience to be negative. It's just an experience.
Because there's billions of people on this earth, and then other planets, and then other dimensions. There's so many little sparks of creator having every individual experience. So nothing is a waste of time because you're just one spark out of so many. And creator wants to experience it all through us. So everything matters. So
Nicole on YouTube said, moving resonates with me also. Oh, gosh, I cannot tell you how many people in sessions are being told by their higher selves to move. And it's almost always to move to some place with more nature and get away from the populated cities. Mm-hmm. People are being told to get away from the cities on the spiritual journey.
Most happy.
Yep. There are a lot of them.
Most peace.
So if you're feeling it, guys, just listen. Just do it. I mean, why not? Like, life is short. Who cares? Yeah.
When
just
you
be
really
adventurous.
Think about it, there's actually nothing stopping you but you. Oh, but this, that. No,
and having the money and whatever, and yeah,
figure it out.
And then I find it so funny that TikTok is literally 10 seconds behind YouTube video. Yes, I did count. That's funny. I have often felt like I wasted my entire 20s on two guys, one on a narc. But thank you for this. No. I know it is not a waste of time. It's not a waste of time. It's never a waste of time. It's an experience. So just don't even look at it like that, because then all you're doing, again, is you're living in the past, right? And if you're living in the past, you're recreating, which you're not being a creator then. You're just recreating the same crap you already went through in your life. And you're not living in your now where you can actually create. Because if you're in the present, you're not recreating anything. There's nothing to recreate in the present. You're literally creating, right? but you can recreate. Come to Colorado. Lana said, yeah, actually I was considering Colorado too. And it's not completely out of my purview, but Colorado is calling me, but my team, no, I'm sorry. Colorado wants me to be there, but my spirit team wants me to be in Wyoming. So,
once again, why do psychics say to rewrite your past to heal past traumas? Once
you
again,
can.
there's a
No, you
difference
can.
between there's a difference between changing
And
for
reliving.
the best and highest
Mhm.
alignment and reliving and
dwelling on the trauma.
Yeah,
So
in
you
an
can
ego
absolutely
perspective.
rewrite your past. And I did that myself, guys, because I couldn't get over the trauma I experienced with my stepmom, with my dad, and with my mom growing up. And so I rewrote my past, and my spirit team had me do that. And they actually called it spiritual bypass. And I didn't know that was a thing because it was before I knew that other people actually did stuff like that sometimes. And if you look in any psychology book, they'll be like, oh my God, no, you're just like, you can't do that. Like, that's a bad thing. And that's like against all psychological rules. And you can't do that. Well, I will tell you, it brought huge healing to me. Huge healing to me. I rewrote my entire past. I envisioned, I made up new parents that came in when I was 4 or 5 years old. And I was sitting on my bed with my abusive mom. I was sitting on my bed and they came in and adopted me, and they took me off, and I lived an amazing life with them, and I recreated the entire past. And so basically what I did, guys, is I created a parallel reality. By envisioning all of that, I created a parallel reality. So it did in fact happen. And then I jumped into that parallel reality, and I just envisioned everything that happened with the new parents. I even went so far as to go on the internet and find a picture of what they looked like. Her name was, what was her name? I forgot now because I don't need it anymore. But whatever their names were, I can't remember. But they were Asian American. And I don't know why, but I was like, yes, this is what they look like. And they were Asian American. And I thought they were just like the most amazing couple.
Wait, what?
I created a different past, and I took different parents.
Oh.
You weren't listening because you were busy reading.
Yes,
where are you located? I'm in Virginia. I don't do in-person sessions. I do all my sessions online. And you can go on my YouTube channel, Woke Lightworker, and look at some of my sessions. But my newest work and my best sessions, I think, are all on Patreon. So you go to patreon.com or click the link in my bio on TikTok, and you can get directed right to my Patreon. And patreon.com/woke lightworker. That's where you can see my newest sessions. Do animals have souls and crossover? 100%. Yes. Just reported.
There's an animal realm, animal dimension.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Somebody did a spam thing. Thank you for reporting them as spam. The book I showed earlier is called A Return to Love by Mary Ann Williamson. This is a really, really good book. About love. And my daughter and I got to meet Mary Ann Williamson when we were at the Conscious Life Expo in LA. And she was like 11 or 12 when we went. And I sat in the front row, and I was like, there was an empty seat next to me, and I was like, oh, this is wild. And like this whole huge room was like full of people, but there was like one empty seat next to me, and I just thought it was pretty wild. And she came and literally sat right next to me.
Wait, what?
Yeah, she literally came and sat right next to me, and I was like,
maybe I was in
starstruck. I was like, oh my gosh, it's Mary Ann Williamson.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I was like, ah. And don't forget, guys, you can order my journal on Amazon, The Conscious Creators Daily Journal on Amazon, and create your the life you want in 15 minutes a day. And then we're going to end it soon, but don't forget my class starts tomorrow night, guys. The Conscious Creators Path, or click in my bio. You can register for it. 4 weeks. We're going to be talking about who are all the spirit guides that you have on the other side. Different spirit guides you can call in for whatever you need. There's endless spirit guides. We're going to be talking about them, masters, healing masters, psychic surgeons, all kinds of help we have on the other side. We'll be talking about what is your ego. Why do you have an ego? Why did you create an ego? What can you do to create a weaker ego and a higher functioning, I guess I'll say functioning higher self. So you hear from your higher self more. And we're going to do some light, easy meditation because I want everyone to walk out, even if they feel like meditation seems so overwhelming. You guys are going to love it because I'm going to do like a 10-minute meditation at the end of every one. And you're going to love it because you're going to feel like so amazing and so relaxed at the end. But it's an hour and a half Tuesday nights. If you can't be there, you can always watch the replay. So you don't even have to be there in person. So the early bird pricing is still on, even though it starts tomorrow. So just take advantage of it. theconsciouscreatorspath.com. And don't forget December 6th is my gaslighting, manipulation, and narcissist class that I'm going to have that's going to be open for 2 hours. And if you're not on my email list or on my Instagram or Facebook, you're not going to get notified of the Black Friday special to get super cheap pricing on my narcissist class on December 6th. And I'm going to be talking about narcissism from a spiritual perspective, not just from the psychological perspective. That will be included in there too. But it's stuff I've learned from doing sessions with people who have been involved in relationships with narcissists and what their higher selves had to say to it. And if you missed the story earlier in this session, yeah, I talked about some crazy stuff about a narcissist that has followed this woman around for 7 lifetimes and killed her in a past life, stabbed her to death when she was a male in that life. And so was he. I can't wait till tomorrow. Yeah, I'm super excited for everyone who's going to join me there. We're going to have so much fun. And I'm going to do, my goal is to fit in 30 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes of Q&A at the end of every class to talk about all things spiritual. Like, what is spirituality? What is enlightenment? What does it mean? What does it look like? What are beliefs? And how do we change our beliefs? Because if you change your beliefs, you can change your life, right? Because it all starts up here. That's where we create, right? All in the head. It's all in your head. People say that it's all in your head. It really is. It's all in your head. Thank you so much for all of this wisdom and empowerment. Love everything you're doing. Oh, Linda. I love you, Linda.
Do angels have wings?
Angels have wings.
You want to give them wings. Their energy, their light. So, I mean, they look however you portray them in your mind. Pretty much.
And someone on YouTube asked, do you still have contact with your biological parents when you created a new past? I do. I still have contact with my dad. I haven't had contact with my mom in years. She's just not someone that I keep in my life. And that was at the explicit instruction of my spirit team. Because she's on her own journey and she's not interested in contributing in any way, shape, or form to adding anything positive to my journey whatsoever. And so my team has been very adamant to me. Thank you for the rose and Solly. So my team has been very, very clear with me that I'm not to have her back in my life, but I don't resent her. I don't have any anger. I just send her love and light. I send her positive thoughts, and it's just, it's just how it is. I mean, Mother's Days were hard at first in the beginning. So, because it's kind of hard when you think about not having a mom for Mother's Day and things like that. But then I just turned the focus. My team told me to turn the focus on being that best mom that I can be for my kids and focusing on what I do have in front of me and being in gratitude for the beautiful, amazing kids.
And loving the original mother, Mother Nature, Mother Earth.
That too.
All the mothers that you had in your past lives and your future lives.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. You know what I'm going to do next Mother's Day? I'm going to do that. You just gave me an idea. Yeah. I'm going to light candles in the house in honor of all the mothers that I've had in my other lives.
And all the mothers that you've been in your other lives.
And the thank you. And the other mothers that I've been in other lives and the mother that I am in this life. I love that. I'm going to do that. Daughter. I'm going to make it a nice celebration next Mother's Day for sure. I am not a medium also. Nope, I'm not. I channel my higher self when I'm in sessions, but I don't consider myself to be a medium at all. This is why it is sad for entertainment only.
Sad for entertainment only. It was probably relevant to what we were talking about then, but we don't know.
Do you have why did you do that? Do you ever have people that can't get hypnotized?
I already
touched that one.
Yeah. How to make your
thank you for another rose, Husky Kimberly. I do it with guided shamanic journeys. Nice. Love shamanic journeys. I actually went to Sedona, Arizona a couple years ago. and went up on Bell Rock and meditated, and it was pretty cool. And then I went to what's our favorite place? Slide Rock. Went to Slide Rock State Park and sat on the rocks there and meditated, and that was super cool. Super cool.
But be careful with shamans, because on that plane they always want an exchange of energy. So you have to be careful with that. They always want exchange of energy.
And I don't know enough about that to say anything, and I haven't heard anything from Higher Self because we haven't touched on shamans. So I'm not going to comment on that. Let's see. Pillar candles everywhere for all the mothers, including your soul's lives. Love it. Yes. What a beautiful relationship between you two. Oh, thank you. Oh, snap. My friend is training to be a shaman. No. Don't even worry about that.
Yeah, it's just like on that plane, on 5th plane, is it?
There's a really good book. How about, you don't listen to what anyone else says. Go with what your purpose is, what your calling is. Your friends should go with what their purpose and their calling is.
Yeah.
Shamans are amazing medicine people. There is a really good book by Vienna Steibel, guys. It's called The Seven.
But Vienna Steibel, the one who taught that. She's literally the one who
right,
says
but that's what I'm saying. Read it yourself. There's a book
yeah.
called The Seven Planes of Existence, and that's a really good one. And she talks about the different planes. Like, what are the different planes again? You want to explain it?
There's rocks, minerals, earth, pretty much. Second plane is animals, insects. Third plane is
us.
Is it us?
It's us. It's people. It's humans.
Okay.
Yeah.
Third plane is us. Fourth plane is like the other side where the
astral
souls
plane.
go, the astral plane.
Mm-hmm.
Fifth plane is
angels
and shamans.
Guides.
And
mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then
my ears ringing.
And then
bad. My ears ringing bad.
And then sixth plane is the laws. I love that.
Yeah.
And then
seventh plane is creator. So yeah, that's a really good book. All of Vienna Steibel's books are amazing. Yeah, it is by Vienna Steibel, Theta Healing. Yep. That's her. What can be a way of communicating with your higher self? Guys, I have a class coming up in January, starting January 10. It's 4 Tuesdays in January. And I feel super qualified to teach this class. I'm good. I feel super qualified to teach this class because I talk to higher selves every single day. So I'm super excited. That's like one of my favorite classes I'm going to be teaching. And it's going to be 4 Tuesdays in January. And you got to be on my mailing list or be on my Instagram or Facebook to get notified when registration is open, because they have not created the landing page yet. My web developer was sick for over a week, so she fell a little bit behind. So registration's not open for the higher self, connecting with your higher self, how to be your higher self. That is going to be open probably in the next 2 or 3 weeks. So make sure that you go to wokelightworker.com and register. Be asked to be put on my waiting list. My class notification list. Sorry, guys. Or go to my Instagram, Woke Lightworker, or go to my Facebook, Woke Lightworker, because you'll see on there when registration is open. If you're in my class starting tomorrow night, Spiritual Awakening Bootcamp for 4 weeks, I will be talking to you guys every single week, and I will let you know right away when my higher self course is open. So for sure, you're going to hear about it there. But make sure I have your email, or you're on my Instagram or my Facebook, so you can be notified when that class is open, because I'm going to touch on it in a way that I don't know if anybody else touches on it the way I do, because I'm going to be coming at it from a perspective of talking to people's higher selves every day and how do they connect? Because that's one question that almost every single person asks in their session. How can I be in more communication and better communication with my higher self and with my spirit team? That's what almost every single person asks. So we're going to cover all that in my 4-week class. And then we're going to do meditations at the very end of each class for like 10 minutes, just a short visualization, where we're going to work on you connecting and being more of your higher self. So it's going to be really good. Really good. That's one of my favorites.
Someone said, how many sessions do you have a day?
I have 1 session a day. My sessions take all day long, guys. They're all day long. It's 2.5 to 3 hours intake in the morning. Then we take a nice long lunch break, and then we come back in the afternoon for 3.5. once in a while up to 4 hours. So it's really long, but it goes fast and we have a ton of fun.
Does asking guide for help put you in a lack mindset that advances you and ascends you? What are you talking about?
Wait, can't wait for our session next Saturday. Yay. Wait, hold on. Can I set up? Wait, where were you?
You already read
went,
that. You
went
that.
back. Okay.
Yeah, that's the last comment. The only reason why you might ever hear that it's in a lack mindset is because creator is the highest truth, and some healers don't like depending on guides and teams. Like, I personally think I came down here to definitely be like this with creator. Like, I literally talk to creator like it's like creator is my best friend. Like, I want to feel very close. Obviously, you did not want to be that closely connected with creator. Your job and your calling is this.
My calling is teaching people
selves
about
and
higher
team.
self, because if you guys can connect with your higher self, you'll just be living at such a higher frequency and a higher level and have way more peace and joy in your life. And that's why I came down to work with higher self in my sessions all the time.
And you came to teach that, and
I came to teach that.
We already know what I came to teach regarding the world. So that's why it's on a different way.
It's all creator.
Yeah,
it's all creator.
It's just different parts.
And then Nicole said, I can't wait for your class tomorrow and January's class. Woohoo! January 10, a day before my birthday. She said, yeah, my birthday's January 16. So
have you read Journey of and Destiny?
Yes, those are amazing books. Yes. Oh, yeah, Family and Casper, Light Renegade Healing said. Yeah, okay.
Let's
that's
invite
awesome.
him over for Thanksgiving.
What if the person?
No,
we already got that.
Yeah. Okay, I think it's. What is the most incredible thing you've experienced during a session?
Oh gosh, guys, the most incredible thing I've ever experienced in a session, I will tell you.
Oh wait, first, this will be quicker.
Okay,
which nutritional diet does Higher Self say is best for us?
Higher Self says it's different for every single person. It's literally different for every single person. And so every single person who wants to know about their diet asks their higher self, and there's never a standard answer. Ever.
Really?
Ever. Oh, okay, I take that back. The thing that every single person's higher self says, all the rest of the things that their higher self says will vary. But the one thing that every single person's higher self says is two things. One, more vegetables, like a lot of vegetables, as many vegetables as possible. And then the second thing, that people's higher self say about diet is tons and tons of water. One person's higher self said, let it flow like a river. I thought that was funny. Drink so much water that it's literally flowing like a river. So I guess we're supposed to sit on the toilet all the time and drink water and just let it flow like a river. I don't know. I thought that was interesting. Let it flow like a river. What was the question I was going to answer though?
Is higher self sent from source? Yes. Tracy, what is the most incredible you have? The most
incredible session that I've ever experienced, guys, and I'm going to leave it at this and then we're going to end. So make sure you guys go to the conscious, before I tell you this story, go to the conscious creators, plural, path.com and register for my 4-week spiritual awakening boot camp tomorrow. It starts Tuesday. If you can't be there in person, you guys will get a link. You can watch the recording. But I'm telling you guys, I spent 6.5 hours writing this course yesterday and making the PowerPoint. I am so excited and psyched with everything I'm including in this class. I only wish that when I started my spiritual journey, I literally had all this information that I'm putting in this 4-week class, right away when I started my spiritual journey, because it would have just answered so many questions and saved me a lot, as far as time and understanding. So I'm taking all of that stuff that I wish I had known in the beginning and putting it in this course. So I promise you guys are going to love this. Even if you're not just waking up spiritually, you're going to learn stuff. You will absolutely learn stuff. So, okay. The most interesting session I've ever had was with a guy who is also a healer. And, so I put him under, and this is one of the sessions that I'll never forget. So I put him under, and there was this, I'll call it a very high level voice talking to me. And I was thinking to myself, this is not this person's higher self. As in, there's different levels of your higher self. There's like a higher self of the higher self of the higher self, because once you integrate, like, let's say your higher self is like right here. Once you integrate with that higher self, like, let's say now you're like one with that higher self, right? There's another higher self there because now you have another higher self. And then you integrate, you become more like enlightened. And then that higher self is you. That is who you are. But then there's another higher self there. So like Linda Caravia, who I don't know if she's still on here or not, but when we do her sessions, we're talking to the higher self of her higher self of her higher self. So we call it the higher self times 3. And that's who we're talking to. So her sessions are pretty darn high level. Now I had a session with a guy. This is my journal, guys.
Yeah,
someone was asking about that.
Yeah.
The Conscious Creators Daily Journal. You can find it on Amazon. You can type my name, Tracy Ventura, or type the name of the journal.
And you can disagree with whatever you want, but I mean, your ego mindset isn't above creators. It's a scientific and spiritual fact that
every single person's. Yeah, you don't have to agree with anything, guys. You should always use your own discernment and don't just blindly follow anyone. I'm going to finish the story in just a second, guys, of the most interesting session. Don't ever like just blindly believe anyone. You guys have your own intuition. Use your intuition. Don't listen to anyone else. Do what's best for you. This is your journey. You get to create any life you want. But I'm just telling you what higher selves have said in the sessions with me, and every single person's higher self says more water, more water, more water, more water, more water, and vegetables. But other than that, some people's higher self is like, yeah, it's okay for you to eat meat. And other people's higher self is like, yeah, for you, it's, you don't want to eat meat, or you want to cut way back, or you should be a pescatarian, or you should be a liquidarian, or, it's just different depending on the person. But the 2 standard things that everyone's higher self says is more water, tons and tons of water, and blessing your water before you drink it, filling it with love and light and flower of life energy, and vegetables. And then, of course, always blessing your food before you eat it. Cherish, you and I had the same, though, a thought, but didn't reply on purpose. I can't. Okay, guys. Okay, let me finish telling you the story.
I was about to not reply.
Let me finish telling you my story, guys. The most interesting session. So I realized I wasn't talking to like the higher self that was right above him. I was like, So I started asking more questions, and it come to find out, I was talking to a group consciousness that this group consciousness that I was talking to as one voice, right? It was one voice that I was talking to, but it was a group consciousness. So many spirits, like many beings, I said, so where is his higher self? And this group consciousness said, well, I guess the closest thing you could imagine would be like we kidnapped his higher self. So his higher self is part of this group consciousness. We've like kidnapped it.
It's all about imagination.
And this guy's, it was his 11 and 12 dimensional consciousness. So holy cow, was that a session that I had to stay like totally focused and totally like on, like my brain, like all the way on to listen to the session. Get that off the screen, please.
Why keep talking?
That I had to like totally and completely have my brain turned on, because I was just trying to follow just this high level of thinking that was just being spewed out from this guy. And this group consciousness was talking really fast to me. So I type notes the whole time the person's under, because I used to be a court reporter for 14 years. Like I type fast. I type really fast, right? Really fast. I get almost every single word that people say when they're under hypnosis. I mean, I take really good notes for my clients. And he was saying so much, I couldn't get it all. I actually had to go back and like retype some of the things because I was missing chunks. And then I would be just like so blown away by what this 11 and 12D group consciousness was saying to me, that I would just sit there and forget to type. I'd be like, oh my gosh, like, wow, this stuff is amazing. I did not publish his session, just like my friend Linda. I have not published her sessions anywhere. I have not put them on my Patreon. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do with these high level sessions, because they say things that are just so, like, if we think we don't know a lot about spirituality, holy cow, you listen to these sessions and you realize, oh my God, like, I don't know anything about spirituality. When I listen to this information coming from these high level sessions, it's like mind blowing information. So anyway, that is the most memorable session I've ever had. And so that group collective consciousness told me to call it Thor, Thor. And so I was like, okay. And not only that, but the coolest thing, other than like the mind-blowing information that I got for over 2 hours from his collective group consciousness, was Thor was beyond funny. Like super, super, super funny. Like had me rolling like in my chair, like laughing hysterically so many times with so many things that I'll call it a he, the group collective consciousness, said. It was hilarious. I just couldn't get over it. But that was my most memorable session. But my other memorable sessions are with my new friend, Linda Caravia, who does sessions with me about every month and a half. And we dedicate about half of the session for questions about her business, her life. She's an incredible, unique massage therapist in the Portland area, I think. I hope I didn't get that wrong, Linda. And then also with this other woman who I had a very high level session with. It was her 4D consciousness. So that was very high level also. So given that I like doing these sessions for kind of like research purposes type things, kind of like Dolores Cannon did, and she wrote books when she'd find someone she could do high level sessions with. I really, really am fascinated by those, but I love all my sessions, because like even the one today, oh my gosh, I learned something new in every single session. Like this woman today, I mean, having this dark energy follow her around for 7 lifetimes and describe what the energetic cord between him and her looked like. And that, you know, he stabbed her to death in a previous life and then stalked her like for 7 lifetimes into this lifetime. Like, that's just like, you know, it's really cool information. Like, I mean, I don't even work. I mean, yeah, do I work like 70 hours a week? Yeah, I do, but it's not work to me. It's really not work to me. I love doing this so much. What?
Stay joking. Take it seriously, but stay joking. Even Creator has jokes and is funny.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah. Some people, I love it when some people's higher selves use humor in their sessions. I love it. Like today, I can't even remember what her higher self said, but her higher self didn't make a bunch of funny things in her session today, but her higher self, like all of a sudden popped out something that was super funny. And I was just like, oh my gosh, that was hilarious what they just said. It was super funny. Anyway, what else has anybody else said? Oh my God, Creator has jokes. I swear my ears are so hot. Why? Oh, I don't know. Anyway, so guys, I'm going to wrap it up now. Make sure, please join me tomorrow night and every Tuesday this month for my class, 4-week spiritual awakening boot camp. I would love to see you guys there. theconsciouscreatorspath.com, or go to my bio in TikTok. If you click in there, or in Instagram, bio in TikTok or Instagram, and there's literally a link in there. You can just register. If you need to go on my Facebook, my Instagram, my YouTube, Pinterest, Patreon to watch some of my newer sessions, it's all under the name Woke Lightworker. I'm Woke Lightworker everywhere. I picked that name when I first got on TikTok, and I just made it across all the platforms and it stuck. So there it is.
And I want to answer this.
Yeah, it is on WebEx again. It is on WebEx, guys, the class tomorrow. If you can't be on there on WebEx, and the reason I use WebEx and not Zoom is because they allow more participants. Zoom doesn't allow as many participants. WebEx does, and the recording features on WebEx are better. So I know it's kind of a pain to get WebEx set up the first time, because you got to like download their software, and everyone has Zoom and not everyone has WebEx. But it truly is, from everything I've looked at, it's just a better platform for doing video conferences. So that's why I use WebEx. But otherwise, in the email, confirmation email that you guys are going to get before the class, there is a call-in number. You can always call in. But I did make some beautiful slides. I spent 6.5 hours writing this first week's class, guys. You want to log in so you can see my gorgeous slides, but you'll get the replay. So even if you can't see it, you got to join in the first time by phone. It's never going to be a bad idea to listen a second time, because when you listen the second time, you're going to pick up new information that you missed the first time. Okay, because it's all coming at you and it's all new. So the second time you listen to it, you're going to pick up more that you didn't catch the first time. Okay.
I want to answer that out loud.
What?
I was going to type it, but I actually want everyone to hear that.
Okay.
You should always remember to bless your water and your food. That's really great to do. And someone asked, how do you bless your water? Once again, it's literally just blessing your water however you want, but always ask.
What do you say in your mind when you bless your water? Show them.
Ask for creator. So what I say is, I'm not word for word every time, but most of the words are the same. I say, creator, I am commanding it to be done. You always say command, or if that sounds too selfish or whatever, then you can say request or whatever feels comfortable to you. But commanding is just you working with creator. So creator, I command this water to be cleansed and cleared of any and all toxins, any and all
plastics, poisons.
Yeah, anything
chemicals.
You can think of, chemicals, poisons, anything harmful. And then like if I don't want to everything, then in the end you just say anything not in my pets, like when I'm getting water for our pets, and I say anything not in my pet's best and highest interest and creator's best and highest alignment, and completely infuse it with source divine light and divinity and love and healing. Amazing health codes that creator sees best fit for them. Make it holy water for the animals.
Oh, I like that. You don't have to make it difficult, guys. She's making it really difficult.
It's just however you want to do it.
Use
but I just like to
your creative portal up here and just whatever words sound amazing to you. What would be amazing to put in this water? Right? You want to pull out chemicals. You want to pull out plastics. You want to pull out poisons. You want to raise it to the highest frequency possible. You want to infuse it with love and light and wholeness and healing. And I love that. Make it holy water. Right. Yeah, I love that.
You can sum it all up in one sentence though. Like it doesn't have to be just say, but always ask for creator's healing and intention, because that is the highest. And
so, 2 hours and 45 minutes we've been live. Yeah, I told my operations manager I was going to keep it at 1 hour, and he started laughing and said something like, "Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it." So
someone was like, "Yeah, you guys have been on live for 3 hours."
I know, that's crazy. I said I wasn't going to do it. I need to sleep. I have a session all day tomorrow, and then I'm teaching that class tomorrow night. I need to get some sleep.
But
oh my gosh,
will help prepare you, and
I understand, but I still need sleep.
Ask creator before you go to sleep to make however many hours of sleep.
I know I do that all the time, but I want my sleep. I'm old. I want my sleep. Okay. I just want my sleep.
Remember, that's your human body.
I just want my sleep. I'm tired. Okay, guys. I love all you guys. I hope you guys have a wonderful night. Thank you for spending the evening with us. Thank you for being here. I hope to see you all in my spiritual awakening boot camp tomorrow. Remember, go to Instagram or TikTok, click on my bio. You can register through there. You'll get the recordings if you're not there in person. And then don't forget, December 6th, registration will be out soon. So make sure you're on my mailing list or go to Instagram or Facebook for when registration's open for gaslighting, narcissism, and manipulation class. That's going to be a really good one. And then I have my Black Friday special coming out for that one too. So don't forget about that. I love you guys. Thank you so much.
No, we love you being chatty, especially because I know I'm connected to you really closely. I like just feeling your energy when you type. I know I've been a witch with her in dementia.
Okay, well there you go. What's okay for me to eat? You'd have to ask your higher self what's okay for you to eat.
Everyone's different.
Oh gosh.
That was an old one.
Yeah. Thank you, Husky Kimberly, for all the roses. Thank you, everyone. Good night. They're saying good night. Husky Kimberly roses again. Thank you for the enlightenment.
Oh, I know the back of my shirt has a toothpaste stain on it. This is the back of my shirt. I turned it around because I don't know how to brush my teeth without being messy.
Let's see what else really quickly. Love you so much. Am I blocked? If you're blocked, you're blocking yourself. I love it when the higher self laughs at us.
I think
I want to have
like on your TikTok.
No, I don't think so. Anyway, I'm going to say goodnight to all you guys. Good night on YouTube. Love you guys. Good night on TikTok. Love you guys. Take care, everyone. Bye. How do I get out of the TikTok?